Yeah, why the heck is Streamlabs being so crappy these days? I don't get it. It's just been rough over here for your boy. And then I go and look, and my little thumbnail file got like corrupted somehow. It like won't load in. And I'm like, all right, looks like we'll look professional today instead of having a little clown on there. But hopefully you guys know that this is the live stream today. One of my thumbnail file got messed up somehow, I guess. I don't know. Updates on the computer, updates on everything keep messing up all my system. And so I'll keep a close eye on it. At least it's working. We'll put it that way. For today, most probable scenario is this type of move, but uh-oh. What if we get some news, right? Squeeze is on the table. If you wanted to see that squeeze is on the table, or if you didn't know that squeeze was on the table, hey, you can always follow me on Twitter. Sometimes I tweet some stuff over there. Overall, I was saying that, let's see here. Here we go. Okay, so bears want the Monday pullback, right? You want that Monday pullback, right? If this would pull down to here before going to 610, wouldn't you want that? You'd kind of want that. But bears want it so it confirms some bad signals. Now, these signals are bad and we need to talk about them, but for now, the bears want the pullback on Monday, but we broke above 600. We saw the break above 600. It's a little lower high here, a little worrisome for the 30-minute pullback, but the break of 600 can cause rolling to happen, which means we don't have to pull back, especially over the weekend where we can solve things in the pre-market. Now, the pre-market's doing something interesting on the 30 minutes. See if this is able to go higher. But for the time being, you would say, hey, okay, pre-market, 2-hour cross down bad. Hey, can it work itself out? Do we break trend? Bad things. You kind of want to just squeeze off the bat. But you notice that in the pre-market, we did what? We overall on Friday, we remained at these lower levels and started to go up. Okay, so we haven't necessarily seen this break down a little bit lower to come down into these buyers again. Now we've done that already, so it's not necessarily like it's not 100% necessary is what I'm getting at here. The second part to this is the most probable, right? 595 for this buy, but you hear the bears get pumped, and then we just get an upside move to 610. I think that is on the table. The move to 610 is very interesting, but let's talk about the risky thing here. If you're looking at SPY or anything with this kind of 30-minute look at the 2-hour as well. You see a tiny little 2-hour thing going on here, and it could be extended across. I don't like trading multiple point too often. Unless I see like all this, like multiple things at the same time. So at this point, you have a 30-minute divergence and the 2-hour divergence with the potential for that extended across with multiple point divergence for the SPY, which just tells you what? Like, right, I can say divergence a million times. It just tells you things are weak here. So what do the bulls need? The bulls need a squeeze. What do the bears need? The bears need to lose this low. What's the first step to lose that low? Well, the 30-minute has to roll over here and confirm the divergence we have right now. All right, we see that very simply from the SPY. So if I was in the SPY or any stock that had this type of look and maybe 2-hour divergence at the same time, like the SPY kind of does right now, and the 30-minute confirms down, I might be risk off on the SPY, seeing if everything goes well. Because if this, for whatever reason, is able to break that low, we can actually see that move down to the weekly expected bottom side move first, which would be our 2-hour pullback. And guess what? If you don't stop there and you see something really bad, you start to lose these levels, well, you're going to get a big reaction up, by the end of the week. But eventually, you're probably going to tip that bad boy over with some kind of lower high. So this is where you really want to be cautious and be trading like water, right? Especially if you're in something like the SPY. If you're looking and maybe you're in a play that doesn't have this look whatsoever, you still want to pay attention to it, but you want to also just be viewing your individual play. Be like, hey, is the daily swing trade still good? Well, we talked about this yesterday during the private stream. If you guys want to join for more private streams, we will have those coming in July. I'm working on a tier for that and stuff. So people that just want information can get information. People who want to join the live streams, people really, really enjoyed. They noticed how different it was able to fully talk about these things and really talk about them in depth and show those weekly and monthly moves to set up plans for this week. And we even set up some of those plans over here, showing 2 stocks that have potential swing trades, or 1 stock that has a swing trade, and Tesla that could set something up soon, right? It could set something up in this zone if it really wanted to head to the upside. So that private stream was very, very nice. We're going to bring more of those out in July, most likely at this point. So for the SPY, this would mean if I'm in a stock that looks rough, okay. And if I see the SPY, if I'm not in it and I see it get rough, I just want to pay attention and make sure my management for the trade isn't necessary on things like a trade that I'm taking, right? My trade. Make sure that you're paying attention to those things in this environment. Why? You're up, up, up and away still, and I've actually seen it right away this morning. I saw a random YouTuber, never seen this person before, but I wanted to be like, okay, what's this random YouTuber say about the market? He doesn't do technical analysis, and what he's overall saying is, oh yeah, I think this market's going to boom to a new all-time high this week, and I think that's fine to say. That's not like incorrect to say. But them saying that makes me look at these reversal signals and go, hey, well, at some point we are going to get a daily pullback. So if I don't have the confidence to trade, to manage risk in this environment, to catch this kind of move, well, most likely you'll get that again over here. Most likely you'll get that again down here if we set something up like this. So it is a matter of patience, and also just a matter of if you're going to trade these last few moments here, as we have potential to squeeze, but not guarantee of a squeeze, you need to be paying attention to your risk and just be like, okay, if I'm going to be in it, I just have to make sure nothing's going wrong. In this case, I believe that the real way that all of these plays, or most of these plays, are going to go wrong is if 2-hour charts do cross down. That's where you have more potential to break through with that momentum and see that downside move to here. If we break down lower, that's where you start to say, okay, this could be a little bit of a problem later on. Or maybe it's something, oh, if we got a flash move down, that would be even worse. If you got like boom into this. But you know, what's going to cross over first? The 30-minute. The 30-minute's going to cross over first. And then this is how you kind of grab that liquidity to actually break this low. And then you'd actually bounce to make that corrective move. We head down right now. I am not leaning towards this, okay? I am not trading based on that. I am still looking for upside, but I'm going to be highly, highly aware of downside as the risk gets higher and higher. Now, where does the risk get the highest for the month of June? This yellow line, right? This yellow line is exactly where the risk gets higher. Notice that this is getting closer to it. Notice that for the Qs, if you don't have those moves yet, this is getting closer to it. So it is very likely for us to go up to that area and get a test of that area as we see rolling. But for now, I wanted to point something else out to you. This is why I'm talking very seriously of being aware of if things roll on a 2-hour chart. We have gotten this 2-hour confirmation, volatility showing just the slightest little divergence there. We see on the MACD, we see divergence there as well. This means that the daily chart can get going. So what we're really watching for here is, does the volatility get some kind of upside move? Now, there is a chance that the market squeezes and you still see this go up as people start to hedge. Okay, so what we want to pay attention to if people are hedging is, do we make the new high? Do we take out this high? Then we can pull back, then we can go again. That overall shape, the little lightning bolt here, it can look a little different for the SPY if it's hedging. But if it's not looking like hedging, right, we're not going up while that's happening, just be aware that you are starting some kind of downtrend move, and it would look something like this at that point. All right? So we're paying attention, we're aware of the weakness, but is this overall bearish yet? No, it's still remaining bullish. You are holding structure. You are likely to get a 30-minute pullback. If that crosses down the 2-hour, you can be risk off, or crosses down the 30-minute, we can be risk off. And then we can go right back to risk on if the 30-minute is able to curl up into positive territory for the SPY. Same thing holds true for the Qs, which actually have the reversal signal that you usually see at major tops on daily timeframes, right? On the 30-minute, you actually see the Qs. I don't know why I made that green, but the Qs overall weren't able to make the new high. So this is something you should pay attention to. Why? Look how close the 30-minute is to the center line. How easily could that go negative? Well, let's look for a crossover by the center line and see what kind of things happen. Oh, crosses down right by the center line. What happens? Bad freaking things. 1, 2, 3, right? What are we talking about? 1, 2, 3, right? So this is why you want to pay attention for timing, for if this is a 2-hour pullback. You see that the 2-hour also has formed that multiple point divergence, no rejection divergence, no divergence in the near term. So you can kind of take this with a grain of salt because it's extended across. But if you're able to lose that low, that is where you would look for the structure to actually break down with something like this over here. So there's a lot to pay attention to. Why? Why am I talking so much about so many things to pay attention? Well, because we're in another one of these moments where we had to pay attention, but it's even more extended across. And we've seen that move during market hours. When I see these kinds of moves during market hours, retail sees that. All of retail sees that. I'm a big believer in if they're going to do something, they're going to dark pool it. You're just going to see a confirmation and see a gap up. I think that happens a lot of the time, right? So as you see this, this could be walking up into a trap to at least come down to select areas this week. But we have to see if news comes out from Trump and Bessent, as they were talking about potential China news, I believe, today. Or if they weren't saying stuff about China news, we know that those trade deals or the pause, or yeah, I think it's the pause, I think it'll be extended, but it is technically going to end. And maybe that's a reason for us to fall down for a moment. Other than that, guys, take a big sip of your coffee, and note that once we get to, or if we can get to, the monthly expected move, it starts to get a little risky, okay? That is where I take almost everything off the table, is whenever the SPY and the Qs hit a weekly expected move, or my individual stock that I'm trading hits a monthly expected move. I apologize. This week I will be looking at weekly expected moves as well, though. Yeah. I think it would be great for the 2 hour to just show like, hey, we can see a big positive move, just kind of do something irrational, get some kind of news, go up by Wednesday. We start to top out, right? 610 by Thursday was my overall estimate. And then we could see this pull down to then head back up. And maybe we get to that monthly expected move and you start to see this. That would be a problem. It doesn't have to look exactly like this. If you're going to see some kind of mega squeeze, right? We already talked about how it could break down, so let's talk about the upside. If you see some kind of mega squeeze, like China news is just insane, look for that monthly expected move this week to come in as resistance. Then you can pull down and use this as support by Friday, and maybe you're able to continue that upside, and then we'll actually see if this is able to top out towards 620. So we have to see what levels are taken out. If we take out 610, we expect the roll to 620, but we do expect some kind of pullback at that point. Very, very nice. We actually went through this very thoroughly over the weekend. If you join Patreon right now, you can get access to that video. It has been posted onto the Patreon feed there, and you can click on it. It is about I think it's like 2 hours long. Put it on 1.5 speed. Click through it every 2 or 3 minutes just to see the tickers and stuff like that. And we talk a ton about stocks. We talk a ton about managing trades. We literally walk through plans for trades and everything like that. We can talk a little bit more like that with a more focused group with the ranges up over in a private stream. So we're going to do more of those in July. You can join Patreon right now to go see it. Very, very nice for now. Direction is up, up, up. I'm sure a lot of people are starting to draw their little triangles and stuff. So we'll see if we're able to break out of that. But we're not. This triangle is not going to be the end-all, be-all. All you have to do in this area is be like, boop. So pulling down like this, pulling down like this, and then we go boop. That would be nice. All right, guys, we are about to open up in about 5 minutes. Make sure to get your coffee going. Chris saying that stream was awesome. It was pretty good, wasn't it? Do we know when Trump GE will have the talks? Well, apparently there was hints of it being today. I don't necessarily know 100%. Let's see. Let's see if we can find some stuff here. On June 5th, that was 4 days ago, I just concluded a very good phone call with President Xi of China discussing some of the intricacies of our recently made and agreed to trade deal. Let's see here. Damn, it's like GME, no dates. Let's see if we can get a latest. Dude, this California stuff's crazy. I think we might scale up into something really bad on July 4th. Honestly, if this mayhem in California continues, I would really be freaked out of a day where we celebrate America while people are trying to burn down America in one of our biggest states. I would definitely be watching signals around July 4th if we see upside into there. So I really do want to say, treat reversal signals around, especially if they're at monthly expected moves. Treat them very seriously. It will tell you to be risk off. Okay. It will tell you, hey, watch for the daily pullback. All right. I really want to get that across today. It was UK this morning, so like 4 a.m. was when they were expecting news, as I understood. I don't really see the news or anything. GME does have dates, though. That's right, Richard. Oh, that's right, Richard. NVIDIA, please. Yeah, NVIDIA, we went over a little bit in that video. NVIDIA is one that can do something extremely irrational, but you can see the drawings we have up because we were talking about this. Does NVIDIA look like a great opportunity right now? Who can tell me in the chat who really wants to buy NVIDIA with this look on the daily time frame, on the 2-hour time frame, and even seeing on the 30-minute time frame if we're confirming down on Friday? It's just a rough look. It's going to be you can execute a trade here, right? 30-minute curls up into positive territory. You wipe out divergences. You keep going, baby. But, this is different from the SPY. Look at this. You're actually still almost holding this point. You're pretty much flat, if not slightly up. But at the same time, you look at this RSI. Look, it's just straight down. So this one doesn't give me much confidence. Now, I still have a bullish perspective. I just think, what if NVIDIA gets rotated out of for a moment? I think, what if NVIDIA goes up, but it just only goes to like 148, 152? Like, that's a pretty solid move, right? And actually, the move that I saw coming was something above this. So right now, for me, NVIDIA doesn't look like the best opportunity. Let's talk about it positively, though. I don't think this is bad. I think even if NVIDIA drops by, let's see, I think that even if NVIDIA drops like this, like a rock, like it drops 20%, I think it'll still be good. I genuinely think that it'll still be good if NVIDIA drops by 20%. Why is that? Well, because you pay attention to certain points. This box, daily time frame, you pay attention to this box, and you pay attention all the way down towards that center line, right? And we have gaps below. What direction are we coming into this box? Then from the positive side, right? And what are we doing? Left, head. Maybe we want to go all the way down and make a right shoulder over here. That is possible. Gap right in here, fill the gap. Everyone starts to go, we're going to fill the rest. We're going to fill the rest. We're going to fill the rest. You see a reversal signal right there. You see a reversal signal here. You see a reversal signal here. You see use your skills, right? But understand that this isn't some kind of major opportunity right now. And if it ends up just squeezing by 70 points to the upside, who the hell knew that that would happen based on technical analysis? No one. No technical analyst should look at this and say, this is a great buy right now. This is going to be easy to execute a trade on right now. And I'm not bearish or something on NVIDIA. I'm just saying it needs a daily pullback. The SPY needs a daily pullback. But we're seeing continued upside. So find a stock that is easier to execute on. Look at this. Apple, swing trade on the daily scale. See if it breaks the upside, right? Management for the trade. It doesn't have to work out, but this is a trade setup that says, hey, you have high potential to try to go up here if you can go positive. That means I take on the risk and I go, okay, can it go? Tesla. Everyone's bearish on Tesla, bearish on Tesla, bearish on Tesla. And I'm like, what if it sets up a 30-minute divergence? Right? You don't have to be like the best thing to do. Like we say this pretty often, actually, your analysis is the best analysis. Right? So if you see a 30-minute divergence on Tesla, remember here, let's just go back. Your analysis is the best analysis. Remember down here when I was talking about these are almost potential divergences, right? And if that confirms up, I think that NVIDIA will make its way to 328 is what I said. 328.60 was the exact level. I remember it because we said it a million times. What do you need to see to go higher? Well, we need to see it take out this high, right? We need to see it take out this high. Right? And you did right there. You see that red? You see this? You took it out. And then we want to see it kind of retest those buyers somewhere in there on like the 2-hour chart. Buyers, retest. And then we want that to break out. And then it breaks out and it goes higher. 328.60 gets hit. Target acquired. Now you see divergence, and then you see it break down on that 30-minute time frame exactly how we kind of said it would, except you didn't even get a good retest here at all. So everyone's talking about it bullish here, And everyone's talking about it super bearish here. I even made fun of people. I made fun of people on Twitter, and I was like, oh man, people were so bullish when Nvidia was up here, but they're so bearish on Tesla when it's like 55% off. Like this is literally buying low, selling high. And this person bought high, sold low, and they're completely backwards on how markets move. So all you have to do is look for things that are actual opportunities that create your 5 reasons. If your 5 reasons are there and they are confirmed and you take a trade and you set up your management for if the trade goes wrong, then you don't have to look at anything else. Focus, right? This looks like better opportunity to me than Nvidia. This looks like higher potential for an easy trade than Nvidia, because all that I have to do here is catch a 2-hour move. And look at the 2-hour getting oversold, oversold, oversold. All I have to do is do my homework in here, and then I can catch this. I can catch this. I can catch this, right? And then I can use my weekly and monthly expected moves to help me. Why are we paying attention to Tesla here, Patreon members? Why did we talk about it yesterday very thoroughly and talk about the 30-minute divergence that can form, and it's the most likely scenario? Because you're at a monthly expected move right now, and you're retesting that monthly expected move right now. That monthly expected move is getting retested right now. Tesla for the week is saying what? Remember, you see this line right here? I'm going to tell you. I'll tell you, Tesla people. I'll tell you because I want you to be successful and understand how these things move. If you get the 30-minute to confirm here, where are you likely to go to? You are likely to try to break that high. If you break that high, that's a good sign. So if you retest, this is going to be positive and you're not going to be shaken out of the trade. And then all you have to do is make sure that it's not breaking down too far, getting a reaction up and breaking down again. All you have to do here is say, hey, if the 30-minute can go into positive territory and make that new high, it can come down and retest, and then we can make our way up to 325.50. It literally is a perfect plan for a trade, and your job is to execute on the trade. This is not 100% probability. This isn't even a high probability right now. We haven't seen it turn around. We haven't seen divergence really confirm, form, anything like that. All we see is a negative move, right? You can literally make money on any play at any moment. But the point of it is, are you in a high probability to make money in that moment? You could buy Nvidia right now, it could go up 10%, but it looks like it wants to go down 10%. So I'm not taking that play. You could buy Apple right now, it could go down 10%, but I'm buying Apple right now because it looks like it's about to go up by 10%. Do you see? We use our skills to put us in higher probable trades. As of right now, the 30-minute is turning down. What did we say is the most probable thing for the day? The most probable thing for today is you're going to go down to that line, and then you're going to see if buyers step in to actually get rid of all those sellers again, and you're going to see if you can turn back up into positive territory with your MACD. Yeah, these things, like if you can catch something here, it'd be very interesting. The only thing that's worrisome is volatility, the reversal signals for the SPY. Volatility has those reversal signals. They've already confirmed. And so now you're just going, okay. What other thing is a little bit risky out there? The 10-year yield. The 10-year yield was able to see upside, upside, upside. Notice that TLT is trying to drop down again outside of the zone. Not a very good sign for TLT, to be 100% honest with you. Okay, didn't break out yet. Didn't break down yet. I probably should move this up, honestly. This should be probably like right here. And actually, if we really want to talk about it, that's probably a separate zone. It's probably something like this. So I'll leave it like that. Now, I have marked off 8250. 8250 is my level. If we make a daily divergence there, this is when I invest in TLT. I always invest at 8250, and I either catch a nice move and make a little bit of money, or I hold on to it for the long haul and say, hey, we're probably going to get rate cuts in like September, right? The bond market will start to price in rate cuts before they actually cut the rates. The bond market will realize, hey, the Fed has to cut rates before the Fed realizes they have to cut rates. So this month, you are very unlikely to see a rate cut. But September, those start to flip the other way where you're a little bit more likely to get a rate cut, just so you are aware. So anyone telling you that you're highly probable to get a rate cut this month is just straight up guessing, YOLOing, not paying attention to the actual data. All right, cool. Let me go over to my other charts. I got to keep an eye on my other charts here. I am going to mainly on my other charts keep my eye on the Apple and Tesla plays. As of right now, Apple doing what it needs to do. As of right now, Tesla down below the monthly expected move. You know, it's very, very good to see. One other thing I wanted to look at over here was the memers. I wanted to see how the memers are behaving today. AMC. Why is this zone so fucking huge? Okay. AMC retesting the center line. The top this is AMC's top level that I can get a reaction from, with the availability to go test $3. Excuse me. You can retest $3 if you want for AMC. GME is trying to do something good here, but it is seeming to be unsuccessful for the moment. Only up 8.83. Need a little bit bigger reaction, and then that 2-hour can confirm up, and then you watch for if you get rejected from 33.73. So if you get good news here, you are in a window where you can see major squeezes. So I would be watching some of those smaller stocks that have great setups, or have seen positive things, and it's just a 2-hour swing trade. IWM out the gate looking pretty good. Once again, the more probable thing is 30-minute pullback, but IWM doing something great here, which is heading to the upside first. If we can continue that, we can just retest these areas. If we fade it right away, we can come all the way back down into these areas before we're able to come up. Use that 5-day as like a guide for you, okay? Let me go look at my plays real quick. All right, Apple flipping positive there. Very nice. I think another one we were overall looking at was DJT. DJT, no 30-minute divergence in the near price action. Watch for that, possibly even today. DJT, we were paying attention to this just because the 2-hour did confirm, but it's not necessarily a good confirmation yet. We went over that in the video yesterday. So even if you're sitting here, you're still waiting for the good confirmation, which means, hey, there's always a chance that the 30-minute can show you that opportunity first. If the 30-minute curls down to fill a gap and then curls back up, you actually will see potential 30-minute divergence right here on your MACD. Something like this really quick. And that would be fantastic. That would be a hint to turn around and gets you in the play a little bit earlier, and you can manage risk based on a 30-minute chart like we talk about in the course, the full technical analysis course down there. Bitcoin, upside, upside, upside. Bitcoin, awesome. Remember, we were like, it's probably going to test 100K or try to. Boom, it tests 100K. Boom, it makes the 4-hour divergence we were talking about. God, I loved it. It's not on the RSI at the same time, but this is still good. You're breaking out to the new high. Okay, this is a good thing. Do we have reversal signals right there? Nope, we just wiped it out. So expect continuation for a bit of time. This is very, very good. It means your daily chart might curl up soon. Now, how does this fail? 4-hour has to rotate all the way back down. You have to start to lose the last previous level. You have to start to lose this, and then you can start to break down over time. And then you'd see if you can turn around somewhere in here. If not, and you start to make new lows, it's going to be rough for Bitcoin. AVGO, right? In seriously, the goal here has been achieved for AVGO. What you are looking for is potentially the last FOMO move, right? Some kind of FOMO move that fails, some kind of FOMO move that everyone screams new all hot, then it falls again. Kind of looking for that. But if AVGO can tap into here, squeeze and not make divergence or anything like that, bam, pop off, son. I will be paying attention to AVGO. I am more leaning towards some kind of trap here in some way that is actually able to break down for some time going into potentially August. And then maybe we're able to figure our stuff out and head to the upside starting in August or September. Late August, early September would be very nice for this one. Palantir, a little bit risky for Palantir as well. Already did it, right? Already showed we want to go higher, but then it goes, we need a daily pullback. FOMOers take over, and now you're pulling down again. So you can still head to the upside here if you're able to curl up, but you need to wipe out any forms of divergence here and not make a higher or a lower high. The reason you don't want to make a lower high is because if you look at a 2-hour chart and that curls up and we just fail right now, Palantir might get rotated out of. And so I'd be paying attention to your weekly expected moves for Palantir this week, potentially even the downside. I think that this would be a very hard stock to execute a very simple trade on as of right now. Ari's going nuts out there. She's been having like fits, but also when she's super excited, she just friggin' is like going off. You expect the weaker ones to catch up? Overall, no. Most of the time, indices wise, okay? Most of the time, one's going to support the other. And so, yes, you can see like the Qs start to behave stronger than the SPY, but the SPY's not necessarily going to do this while the Qs do this. That's just not going to happen because they affect each other, right? So since they affect each other in some way, you would say, hey, if there's serious rotation into tech, then that can be a good thing for the SPY. But that could say like, oh, energy takes a break or something like that. With possible inflation, though, I don't know if energy takes a break here. Oh, one thing I was paying attention to this morning, I was analyzing a bit this morning, the dollar. If you look over at UUP, you can potentially find a little dollar play here. Now, these dollar plays, they don't, at least for me, whenever I've tried to do it, it doesn't make the most amount of money, but you can see a solid reaction here to make a new high on the daily time frame if you're able to confirm up. This could mean that the dollar is going to be positive for a few weeks here. I just wanted to point that out. You do have the higher low down by our 99.4 level. This is where we were looking for a reversal signal, and boom, hey, thank you to our skills, right? It's nice when you put a line way, way back, right? We put a line up at these levels. We start to look up at these levels. We start to go, okay, where could this go to? All right, then we mark this off and we go, okay, we're looking for reversal signals here. You see it. Then you go, okay, I'm doing my homework correctly. I am doing these things correctly. Daily time frame turns up and it goes to the upside. If I did it incorrectly and I marked off like down here, so what? I did it incorrectly. I'm seeing the reversal now. Like, just, you don't have to be a genius and do this and do that and mark off every perfect level. You have no idea where the dollar was going. But we had a good idea of where it would want to go to, back to our 99.41. And then that's where we want to see reversal signals shape up. And they are shaping up, which is just fantastic. A higher low is how you turn this thing around, right? And what you want to see here is a big move, honestly. Dollar looks like it wants to turn around. 10-year yield looks like it might want to turn around. So I wonder if we go look at US oil. Oh, God. Oh, that thing already did turn around. Okay. So that one turned around with that divergence. Now it's trying to break to the upside. You want to see a bigger move than this. If you're going to reject, you want to reject from here, in my opinion, $68. That would be a great rejection level. If you're going to squeeze, as you're going positive right now, you haven't been positive. You really haven't even tried to make a positive move since April. You haven't been positive or gone positive overall since like December. All right. This was the last really positive move, right? So if this thing actually is going to go positive, you could see one of these type of moments. Also, I think we just do this. I don't know. Yeah, I think we just mark the high and low this time. Yeah, something like this. So overall, this is very good. You would want to see rejection from anywhere near that center line. But if you start to break the upside, that can curl down and give you that right shoulder that could have been, and that you see how this would really like to head up. So maybe this is gearing up for a move. It looks like dollar's gearing up for a move. Looks like oil could be already geared up for the move. Just want to point some interesting things out to you guys this morning. All right, let me go over to my other charts here and look at volatility. Volatility starting to, as of right now, starting to try to fade. The 2-hour divergence, this would be the failure. I will show it to you real quickly here. Volatility. Okay, so if I have 2-hour divergence, I'm literally going to give you a lesson on how I manage trades right now, completely for free for you guys. Hopefully everyone yesterday enjoyed it private stream because we did it for like 2 hours straight. Right here, boom, divergence, boom, boom, divergence. Okay, I see it. It confirmed. I go, okay, I'm buying volatility. When does that start to go wrong? If the 30-minute curls down here, is it close to the center line or far away from the center line? It is close to the center line, meaning that it is risky of going negative again. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm just not right now. Maybe we set a trap this way, right? But I have to wait for that next confirmation if we curl down here. It would just mean my volatility play, if I took it right here, is not going to go well if this curls down, right? It would say manage it, watch it curl down. If it makes a higher low, back in. It would say manage it. If it makes the divergence, all right, try it again. Oh, we make new high, boom, boom. Awesome. Great stuff. Now, if we squeeze, you're going to maybe see it drop a little bit more, drop a little bit more, drop a little bit more, wipe out those divergences. We have a whole different story on our hands. I still think you could get a reaction up though. Like with the squeeze, like people hedge that shit. I think that makes total sense, but dang, good shit, bro. Yeah, trying to help you out, Jay Green. I'm telling you exactly when that starts to go wrong. I'm literally telling you. It can be that simple. And it doesn't mean that you can be wrong. Like volatility can't just like spike back up like 20 minutes later. It doesn't mean that. It just means you are trading the best you can with the tools that you have and the decision-making things that you have set in place. Because most of the time when you fail that signal, you turn down, especially in the bullish direction. You start to go up. Yeah, bullish direction. Yeah, you fail that signal. A lot of the time you keep squeezing. This thing is not even wanting to pull back. We're just moving sideways. That's even better for the bulls, actually. That's extreme bullishness there, man. Oh, golly gee willikers, man. That worries me a little bit. That, I'm not gonna lie, that makes me pretty contrarian. Oh, never mind. We'll see how it ends by the end of the day. The reason I was looking at this was so right in here, we have these that were creating potential divergences. Those are kind of wiped out. If we take into consideration the 5-day moving average, you had potential divergences like on the 5-day moving average, which I think is very interesting to see. You've seen these things before. They continue for a long time, if you notice. Look, they can continue for a very long time. But we just wipe those out. We'll see how it ends we need to see how it looks by the end of the day. We'll see how it looks by the end of the day, but that is, whew, interesting stuff there. Actually, we should do it on the CPC now that I'm thinking about it. We'll have to see how this lands by end of day. But you see all this going on. Well, a lot of the time when you start to see that direction hold up, you go through something bad soon. This one is more aggressive. That's why I'm paying attention. It's way more vertical than, say, over here. Just giving kind of a gradual line there. You see how much more aggressive it is. So really be paying attention for a trap, potentially even this week. But there's a trap window here. Like there's a window for positivity, and then you go right after this week, maybe after next week. Like maybe after next week. There is some serious trap availability from like even right now with the signals we have all the way to about, I would say, the first or second week of July. You always want to be looking at reversal signals. And that's why I talked very seriously about this 30-minute divergence here for the SPY right away. Okay. The reason I talked about this very seriously at the beginning and said, hey, just pay attention to it. If it starts to get aggressive, just be careful with the longs. The reason I did that was just because you do have high potential for trap right now. Wipe out the signals. Okay, you might have bought yourself the rest of this week. If you set up those reversal signals by the end of the week on like Friday, yeah, you bet your ass we'll be paying attention. I think you're more likely to see those. If we can get to monthly expected move, I think you'll see another wave higher to set up some kind of higher low, or I'm sorry, set up some kind of lower high for the reversal or a divergence on the 2-hour chart. That's what I believe, and that would take place potentially at the monthly expected move next week. So we have data that other people don't, right? People don't pay attention to the things that we pay attention to. 618 is what we're watching for extreme bullishness, where we say, thank you, thank you, thank you, and we run away. PCC is wild right now, though. What up to Mad Dog? How you doing, buddy? How's Apple doing this morning? I think Apple's doing fine. Apple's doing what it needs to do. I'd like to see new high. Once again, Apple has the availability. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to do any. It doesn't have to do anything now. Overall, Apple looks like an extremely bullish look. All right, that Apple is suggesting that Apple is about to get news or has a high potential to get news based on the signals. Why do we believe that right now? Because Apple has seen upside with potentially no news for Apple. It continues to hold to the upside and set up like it wants to see the daily swing trade to the upside, which means to us, what kind of news is Apple going to get? The technicals are saying you want to burst here. Why would the technicals say that Apple wants to burst here? Well, to the upside, Apple is overall showing how people know something before you do. That is potential here. That is what I believe is happening when you confirm signals before any kind of news, which most of the time you actually do that, which means most of the time someone knows something before you do. So if everyone's super bearish on Apple and Apple doesn't look the best right now, why is it curling up really close to the center line on a daily chart? Okay, I know that I can be wrong and that could fail. My 2-hour curls down. I'm out. The daily confirms up like this, then gets a 2-hour pullback. Am I out? No, I'm waiting for that to break to the upside, then set some kind of trap near that yellow line. Or monthly expected move, which might happen to be around the same exact area. I still think 595 today is very possible. You look at KSS. I actually have KSS down here. I was actually looking at this. So I thought this was very interesting. I really liked the behavior here. I'll mark it off for you. I thought this was interesting. I did see some people talking about it. For now, we're looking for potential squeezing and things like that. You could mark off the bottom zone. That's what you look like you tested. This was a scary moment. This is always a scary moment. But thankfully, you saw extreme bullishness here. You have a good clump of buyers. You just tap into the top of that, and you're back to business. The big thing here is it showed that way higher now. After tricking the downside, it showed the way higher, dipping down into who? The buyers in this gap, right? The buyers right in here. And yeah, we're heading to the upside. This is fantastic. What you want to see is a big move now. What you want to see is Coles, right? Is this Coles? Coles, right? Yeah. You want to see this take out like 1242. If I'm being totally honest, if you look at a weekly time frame, you want this thing to like boom. For the weekly scale, you have to take back this entire zone. You can see I was paying attention. For the weekly scale, you need to like take back all of this over time to really be able to be like, yeah, we're back on the bull. This stock is like safe again. Because the truth is, from the weekly time frame, you can reject from a lot of areas. And I can kind of mark those off for you if you'd like. We already rejected from 1. You can reject from 2. You can reject from 3. You can reject from 4. And you can reject from anywhere in this type of area. So Kohl's has a lot of work to do is what I'm overall getting. And I don't mind Kohl's. I actually shop at Kohl's every once in a while. I don't think it's the worst place in the world. Christmas time, I like to go around Kohl's, get me some Kohl's cash, and then be able to buy some extra gifts as well. I don't think it's a bad thing. I just haven't paid too much attention to the earnings, but look at all the earnings showing up green over here. Is there more green than red? Hey, that's good. I might want to dig a little deeper in that before I invest in something like this. But overall, cheap stock, buying low, weekly turning up. Does it have reversal signals? No. But the last time it had reversal signals, it didn't even do well. So now you're just getting the cheapest price possible, pretty much, since what? 97? Maybe you look at a monthly scale here and you go, oh, wait a second, what's down here on the monthly scale? Potential for a monthly divergence on your MACD, right? So monthly divergence on your MACD, you go, okay, I have one. Oh, I don't have that divergence on the RSI. I have a really cheap price. Maybe I would look into this for investing. I think that an option play here would be difficult. Is this a squeeze guy? Who mentioned this? Marcus, is this a squeeze guy? Like, is this a short squeeze potential guy? Can you let me know? Yes. Okay. Then, yeah. So what I would say is if you're like, hey, I don't want to put an investment of $20,000, I would calculate, okay, $20,000. How many shares does that get me? Okay, that gets me blah blah blah. Say, let's just I know it's not this math, but I don't want to do math right now. Let's just say, okay, it gets me 1,000, right? Which would actually be like, 9 grand. It gets me, okay, we'll do this. 10,000, 1,000, keep the numbers easy. And then you just go, okay, so how much would 10 contracts for the next 2 months be? Okay, if 10 contracts for the next 2 months is, I don't know the pricing of the options, I could look it up, but let's say they're cheap and you just take like pretty far out. Let's just say you take like 23.50 because you're trying to catch a squeeze. Well, then you could technically take this bet that it's going to squeeze in the next 2 months for probably something like, I would guess it would be like $500. It depends on if other people are doing it, if the short sellers have already started to buy those options to make them premium. But you could potentially do something like this because then you don't have to spend 20 grand. You can bet $500, right? And keep it kind of low if you don't want to like invest for the long term. But the best way to treat squeeze plays is to invest, weirdly enough. Like if this ever mega squoze, right, to like $100 or something like that, then you would just like be safer holding individual shares because you don't know if that's going to happen now. You don't know if that's going to happen in a few weeks, right? You don't, or in a few months, sorry. So it's hard to do that. So if I ever take like some kind of option on a play that looks like a squeeze play, like a short seller problem, okay, I'm just going to buy a lot of time and use an option. If I wanted to put, say, 20 grand, I'm going to look how much it would cost me, which would be about, what is that? I guess 9,000, say 2,000 shares. Okay, that's 18 grand. Okay, and then you go, okay, how much would 2,000 shares be with 20 contracts? And it kind of goes like that. There's a way to, like, you realize big countries do this, like world leaders do that, Marcus. Okay, world leaders do what I just described. You actually can read about it. You actually can go see. I think it was the people over in Abu Dhabi or something like that, or like the Middle East. They took a lot of their stocks out of. They took a lot of their investments out of the market and just bought like call leaps and held on to hedges as well with those positions. Why? Because then they don't have to use, say, $1 billion. They can make the same type of bets with, say, like 10 million, 100 million, kind of position. Really minimize the amount that they could fully lose. They do that. Yeah, world leaders do exactly what I just described. Like countries do that. I believe I learned that in walking up into 2022, the top from the actual like inflation thing, right? That little bear market there. Yeah, that's where I learned that. I was like, interesting. That's an interesting way to put it, and I get it. I don't know what time the meeting is today. Do you think we shoot to 613 with good news today? I don't know about today if you're trying to make quick money or something like that. I would say if you get extremely good news, I'll give you the level. How about that? If you get extremely good news, I already gave this to you on Patreon, guys. You guys should have this already. If you get extremely good news, technically you could see 620 this week. Like if it is just the bust out, holy crap kind of good news, 620 this week. Now here's the thing. Market makers and algorithms still have a strong hold on this market as of right now, which means paying attention to 620 this week could be good. It could be bad. You want to really pay attention to 610 because most likely as we hit 6,000, you're going to see all the, so like if you had like the call levels and things like that, you're probably seeing the 610s grow. And actually, we can go look at that. Let's actually look at it. Let's just use basic stuff, though. Basic stuff, I like it. So yeah, like today was 605s are huge. So 605 today would make sense. But end of the week, we see a lot of bearishness this week. 605. The 610s are slightly growing, but man, look at these bearish bets, guys. Look at that. 590, 585, 590, 585. Those levels can get tagged too. And your signals are actually, as far as technicals and signals go, as far as MACD and RSI goes, if you confirm down, you know, they would kind of beg to differ and say, hey, we can go down to those levels. Do they want to pay out those options at any time? That's kind of the question. So I'm still inclined to be overall bullish. But we should see rotation to the 610s continue. Let's look by OPEX. 600s haven't really, okay, 610s are starting to get some, 47K. We'll see if that changes throughout the week. Oh, come on, where the heck is? God. Oh, wait, it's GameStop earnings week. Oh, God. Let me go do some stuff real quick and I'll get back to the chat, okay? Up. GME. December 10th. I feel like it's always weird with GME earnings. Like markets are so strange with these type of earnings. Top. Shit. Bottom. Is GME lower high? GME a little bit lower. Daily pulled back. So weirdly enough, if you wondered what I was doing, I was looking at these E's, and every place I saw an E, I just kind of marked off. I just marked off like this one and this one. I went all the way back to September 10th, and this was a low in the market. This was a pullback retest in the market. This one was like an exact top. This one was another exact top. If you would like to see those levels, they are here. This was GME earnings to the exact date. The last one, I believe it was December, correct? Am I incorrect with that? I know, it's crazy to think about, but I actually do think this happens. December 10th, you see this. December 10th, what did we do? We're making a top. And then you go back and you say, okay, well, GME, these are when GME was kind of at like almost at highs. Almost at high, or wait, made a high, yeah, getting up bounce at a high. And then the last time we actually like saw upside went from the market around GME earnings is right here. So it's just strange to me that GME earnings is at serious inflection points all the time. So what does this overall mean? I'm looking at GME and seeing if it can get positivity after earnings. That would kind of lead to, hey, we're going to squeeze for a bit for the SPY. Looking for GME, if it sees like positivity into negativity, then we might have a top for the SPY this week. That's just how it goes. That's how it goes, man. Like these things do affect each other because there's so much poison. There's so much poison in the system there. like all the time. I'm a believer in GME, and I overall pay attention to it. So if GME would rotate down after earnings, that would signal the market's about to top. If GME can roll up and continue to go up, then we're probably going to see further squeezing for the SPY. I know it's not the best thing to like read into. I'm not going to like trade based off it, but I do think it's interesting. Like very interesting. Kind of some tinfoil hat stuff, you know. You're not messing with GME, are you? I hold GME, yeah. I hold GME and AMC. And then I do option plays when I think it's a critical time where it could like go up, because I'm not going to invest a ton of money. By the way, invest is a very loose term there. Invest is like put a small amount of money towards it to turn 2 grand into 10 grand if possible. That's kind of what the play is for both of those. And then options would be like, oh yeah, I'll buy 100 contracts for $500 for like 2 months, see what happens. If I get clapped on $500, you think I'm gonna be sad? Hell no. I'll just be like, hey, if that would have popped off though, I would have been pissed if it would have popped off and I didn't get it. Volatility still not confirmed down just yet. Let's get rid of all these little drawings. Qs confirming down and trying to go right back up. Very nice. Very nice. It's possible to Mad Dog. I don't think it's easy enough to read into. You don't know with enough certainty if this is the case, but I just think it's interesting, and I thought I'd point it out. Why is GME earnings always at an inflection point? It is. You can't tell me. You can't tell me that GME earnings was here, GME earnings was right here, and GME earnings was here, and be like, that's not weird. I wonder if I could go back enough. Maybe I'll do that for fun. Should I do that for fun sometime? Go back and look at every single GME earnings and see if it continues to happen at inflection points. So I was like, what if GME earnings causes that like, or I'm sorry, it was here, right? What if GME causes like this? Well, that's kind of what we're looking for. That'd be sick. But that would mean GME might turn down. I think you want everything to just squeeze. GME earnings is what? Tomorrow? Tomorrow after hours. So like if you would burst to the upside, you'd burst to the upside and then you start to come down. That'd be interesting. You go boom, boom, boom. Then you see a 2-hour pullback maybe. Nice and drawn out. Then you go boom, boom, boom. You get to that monthly expected move upside right here. And you see a 30-minute divergence. And then you go, okay, there's the top. Right? That would be the best time to be like, all right, that's high potential to be a top. I can play it or not play it, whether or not you like to play tops or not. Trying to take a top play is difficult a lot of the time. That's why I use smaller amounts, like way smaller. What am I thinking about Google? We did cover Google a little bit. Google, we actually already gave you this trade. This trade was talked about live. This trade was talked about in a YouTube video. This trade was talked about yesterday during the live show. More just looking at Google and seeing if it can continue to produce upside. 30-minute divergence, triple divergence down here, triple divergence down here. We see up, 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 and away. You take out the previous high. You dip down to find those buyers within the gap, and you head to the upside. Price action and TA here are both fan-freaking-tastic. The only thing you're looking for now is I want you to see what's going on here. See how you're breaking, right? You're breaking up. All right, what does this need? A 30-minute pullback. This needs a 30-minute pullback. It doesn't have to. Things can squeeze, right? This is turning up on the daily scale. It's not overbought or anything like that. Where do I think it wants to get to? I think it wants to get to 185, if not try to take that out. So squeeze, son. You don't have to pull back. But this is why you want to pay attention to opportunities when they're actually forming. This is why today we are pointing out what? Because you can look at this and just be like, oh yeah, this is great right now. Or you can be like, hey, is this a great opportunity right now? I'd argue you're a little late on that one. I think the opportunity was right here, or price action right there. Now, this is just supposed to curl up a 2-hour chart. You watch out for divergences and things like that, but this is strength, man. So you could probably see like a 2-hour retest, bink, something like that. If it's going to reverse, you need that 2-hour to flop. And really, you need to like break all this that you just gained. You'd have to give all of it up. It can happen. I mean, inflation's supposed to come back at some point. Maybe we just shake that off this week. Like CPI. Like, this is why we're mentioning Tesla, though. Literally, this is why we're mentioning Tesla. Like, there's your point, right? Look for it to make a divergence or what? A higher low. So if you see a confirmation like this, you can say, okay, we're good. Let's see if we make new high, see if we get an extended move. Then we see if we can pull down and curl back up. And that's how you get the test of 325.50. Or, you could run into problems, but I would overall say those problems are wiped away because you have new price action. So actually, this is supposed to be the bigger move right now. You could just see a 2-hour move all the way up to like 32.50 right now. If you're able to see a good confirmation. I like to wait, especially with rejection divergence. They're not my favorite to play, but boom, that happens, that bar. You go, okay, and then you watch it. 15-minute rolls really early. You go, ooh, where is that? Where is that? Oh, it's close to, oh, okay. So if the 15-minute can get going here and make a new high, well, that's going to be pretty damn positive at that point. And if it's not, then what are you going to see? You're going to see this go like this and roll back down, right? And then you're going to see this. It's going to roll by that center line. You go, nope, not the moment. Keep it simple. But I'm just saying, you're pointing out a stock that's like already gone up. What? Look, how high up has Google gone? Like, how high up has Google gone? From the actual confirmation. Oh, this is 15-minute. The actual confirmation for the 30-minute chart was not that one, this one. This one right here. If you're still holding on to it, 5.3%. Do you think that needs a pullback? Ooh, Ari's not happy right now. I'm just saying, I'm trying to like help you out by just being like, look for something that's an actual opportunity. Google can keep going up. I think it will keep going up. I think it might pull back, but it will keep going up. But I need to wait for a pullback if I just want to play Google. I need to wait for confirmation to play Tesla. I caught that, Google. Nice, Christopher. Congratulations. Hopefully you're holding on to those runners. What setups are looking A+? I like Tesla. I do. I like the Tesla look right now. I hope it confirms up and you can try to execute a trade. Every single trade is not, oh, this is going to work. This is a good setup, so it's good. Every trade is, this is a highly probable setup for success. I'm still going to pay attention to if it's wrong, even though I know I'm slightly higher percentage, the market can do what the market wants to do. Right? I think Tesla looks good. I think Apple swing trade looks good. Right? Those are two. I think DJT looks good. I think DJT looks good on the 2-hour scale. Right? See if you get good confirmation. This is a red bar, guys. See how it's a red bar, but it's positive. So technically, this would be a confirmation you can pay attention to. And then all you have to do is watch it and say, okay, well, the 30 minutes still negative. Okay, if that even goes positive, but it curls down. Oh, okay, that could be a problem. Okay, I'm out. Right? If I have that extended month-long option. But here's how I stay in. Oh, okay, we get that big move. And then I could even say, like, sell, reposition, But we see that. You can just, this is like if you're seeing the Harry Potter, right? Harry Potter is always what you're looking for. When do you get in on a Harry Potter? Well, when you see reversal signal where you can catch that Harry Potter early. And then if you don't get into it right away, you can see some kind of pullback that then gets you in the Harry Potter later. But either way, this is looking like it wants to shift trend to the upside, and your job is to potentially take on some risk and then be like, okay, is it making a new is it showing positivity? Can it squeeze? Yes, it freaking can. It's like one of the only stocks that has a daily pullback. So like we're all like, all of these stocks need a daily pullback. Look at this. Hey guys, this stock looks like this. This stock looks like this. This stock looks like this. And then this stock looks like this. Sorry, I drew that wrong. This stock looks like this. Which one do you think could set up an opportunity the best? Well, you would say potentially right here, potentially right here. But if they're already at these levels, I missed it. If they're at these levels, I missed it. Hey, look at this level. Well, that's the DJT divergence on the 2-hour right now. This one gets a check. That's a good one. This one over here looks like the daily pullback. If I see the reversal signals here like this, that's a check, right? Does it mean it has to be successful? No, but I would rather buy something low than buy something high. If I wanted to invest in DJT, I'd be looking at this right now and saying it's a very crazy stock, so maybe don't treat it like I want to hold on to it forever. Maybe I want to hold on to it till I see the next 2-hour divergence on the upside. Maybe I want to hold on to it till I hit a monthly expected move, and then we could probably see another daily pullback, right? What price would you buy UVXY? I only look at volatility when buying UVXY. I literally do not look at the price of UVXY. When I would buy UVXY would probably more so be with any kind of daily divergence or 2-hour divergence. So like this does give me the inclination to do it. But have I seen the same behavior from the SPY? You have to be very careful with UVXY. It deteriorates very fast. It decays very fast. So you want to be very clear with the timing. As this was a gap up, I'm looking for at least a 30-minute to dip down and then curl back up. So for UVXY, if volatility is going to pop off right now, you should not see this low really taken out, but you could see a divergence. If you see divergence and that confirms, it could say, okay, I'm going to try UVXY. If you see a higher low, you say, okay, I'm going to try UVXY. And when this confirms, I just buy UVXY. I take an option with it, right? That's how I usually do volatility plays. I like little options with UVXY from time to time. Sometimes they're fun when you try to catch a top. You put like $100 to UVXY, see if it just pops off. It's dope. But I like little $500 plays for those types too. So when you buy UVXY is when you see good reversal signals. Now, you don't really have those on the 30-minute, but you can make them soon. So be patient because you've already confirmed one on the 2-hour. All right. This is why the risk here is high, but you also have to understand your environment. The other thing I like to do is look for VIX to set up reversal signals when SPY is at one of these yellow lines. So at this yellow line, volatility will be down, right? And if volatility has a reversal signal in some way, then I'll potentially buy volatility. If we're down at the opposite end and we're down at this yellow line down here, and I see volatility doing interesting things, let's say it differently this time. Let's say volatility scaled up and made a lower high. That's still a good reversal signal. And we want to see that low break, but this is where I would potentially add that opportunity and look for something to top out, because a lot of the time you'll see the opposite thing on the SPY. Or you'll see a divergence on the SPY in a lower, like pretty much you're just looking for any kind of reversal signal here and any kind of reversal signal for SPY at the same time. These are more when I'm inclined to look at volatility. At monthly expected moves, sometimes in a bear market, I'll look at it for weekly expected moves. I like the way tech is moving this morning. Hey, that's good. If you, like I said, if you know, you're like, hey, this is everything I need to take a trade, there's no reason to, you know, if your 5 reasons are there, what's really the scare? Being wrong? There's always a percentage chance of being wrong. There's always, even if it's a 99% thing, even if we're like, it's almost for sure, it's almost 100%. a car could ram into Wall Street or whatever at some point, right? Like something crazy could happen. But usually the signals will show you that. Yeah, Bookmap is good. So for Apple, I went for mega squeeze opportunity. So for Apple, taking a break of this level right here around 214. I have what is it? 10 contracts for 627 at 2 says 215. Why I have written down 214. I keep fucking up during the live show when I'm doing this shit. Yeah, 215. I was gonna say something was off in my notes. I'm gonna change that real quick. Give me a second. The hell's my pen? I like to write down my stuff after hours, so I'm like, kind of it helps me keep it in my brain. And I wrote down 214 and it's 215. But I want it to get to like if I'm being honest here, I want this to be like break out of here and just be like boom, boom. I want it to go like 225. So yeah, 10 contracts, 215 for the end of the month. Even if I only catch one wave like that, I'd be happy with it. I like to premium grab if you didn't notice. That way I don't have to risk more money. So what I like to do in my strategies is I think that this will get above like 208 or say the options are 10. So say I think it'll get above 210, but I'm going to reach up to the 215s because if it goes to 210 and I see a reversal signal, these are going to be, people are going to reach for those. And so that'll increase the premium a lot of that option. And then I can say, okay, I can make 100% from this kind of move right here just by selling it to some guy who doesn't see the reversal signals that I'm seeing, if that makes sense. I literally was like, my brain triggered. I was like, that doesn't sound right. Yeah, so like pretty much with those 215s, I actually grabbed them on the retest. Or actually, did I? I think I grabbed these like a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. Yeah, either way, all I need to see from here is about 7 points. 7 points is a triple. So 5 points is like a double and some. Like this, and if you want, I'll give you Chris. I don't know if you're Chris. Are you part of Patreon? Chris, let me know. Christopher, sorry, not you, Chris. I know you are. Christopher Given, are you part of Patreon? I'll give you a level for Apple if you aren't. No, but I'm planning on joining. Okay, I'll give you a level this week, buddy, to pay attention to. 212. So that's why I talked about all I need to see is like a 7-point move. 212. So if you were wondering like where am I looking to sell, it's really right here. It's still right there. I like to sell the first wave a lot of the time. And sometimes it bites me in the ass because I don't leave runners. So this time around, I might leave runners. Like I might leave like 2 contracts or reposition. I might do this and hope that it pulls down so I can reposition for the next push higher. But yeah, look for if you see bullishness come in, which you're still overall in a good look here. 2 hour doesn't rotate down. 2 hour rotates down. This trade is off, dude. If you get a 30-minute pullback, that's fine. But as you get to 212, you want to be thinking about like decision making, right? So pretty much this is a decision making level right there. What I would like to see is like just a sporadic move that goes bam, pulls down, bam. That would be awesome. I can reload, reposition. I knew I should have done further out. I thought it would be quicker than this. That's why I got greedy with the not buying more time. And then I get bit in the ass by it taking longer. Because I took Apple before the confirmation on the 2-hour higher low. So I've been holding it for like a week or so. I love it. The market is so strong. Bull market. You're right. Watch for the window of weakness. It's like right after this run. It's pretty much like if you see us hit monthly expected move, sit back and relax. Your summer is done. You can chill, and then just you could literally probably, if we can see even 610 this week, I would say even that is potential for you to be like, cool, good money. I'm out of here. I'm gonna go, to the beach. Hey, let's hope for the same thing, eh, Din? Sounds good. You look at SoFi on the 2-hour. Just want to see if I'm seeing it correctly. Yeah, let's go check. As of right now, SoFi a little bit risky for the time being. This is great behavior, though. I mean, look at this. You can't make this up, man. I mean, one, you get a little scare, but then you just rip because you're positive, right? This is where you have to be using multiple skills. You don't just want to price action it with this zone all the time. You really want to pay attention. This is a strong move. This is positive. We curl up. Oh, we break the high. What are we going to do if you missed out on this? We're going to retest into this center point. We retest in. Oh, like this is one that actually gave you the quick retest in that said, hey, you can be a part of this. Now, what are you seeing? You're seeing a lot of little divergences pop up. So that's a little bit risky for me. But the 2-hour, let's go look at that. 2 hours scaling up, you still could be in squeeze mode right now. What this is going to try to do is take out that high, right? If you really look at this, you go, okay, 4-hour divergence. Yeah, okay, this kind of made it get a daily pullback. Daily pulled back. Daily crosses up the other day. So the job here is pull down, and weirdly enough, you're retesting into what? This big zone, right? What do? You go up, you come back into this. You go up, you raise that floor. You go up, break through. You need to, I think this has squeeze potential. I genuinely do. If you knew my full assessment on SoFi, then you remember just a few weeks ago that we were talking about this. And we were talking about the fact that if you're bouncing between these two zones, just really pay attention to momentum and see, like, is the daily curled up here? Okay, I can catch this kind of move maybe right now. Or I could catch this moment and then say, okay, I'm risk off. We took out the high. Yeah, and usually you want to be out before you take out that high. Usually you want to be out like in here because you don't want to play around with little FOMOers. They can just rip that away from them at any point. But this is how it would be very nice to behave. Taking out that level would be awesome. You're just continuing to clear levels. So I think you have squeeze potential here for SoFi. I would just be careful shorting, right? If I'm going to short, I would treat it like I'm going to start to build a short position, and I would overall be waiting, right? Waiting for potential monthly or weekly expected moves to get tagged. So I can go look at those, right? We can go look at things like SoFi and say, is it at a monthly expected move? Not necessarily. If I did catch a move right here, where would I go to? Well, you'd potentially go to 1580. Would that be outside of a monthly expected move? Yes, it would. So if this is going to mega squeeze and I want to hold on for dear life, well, then maybe I'd get up to this type of area and take some profit. That way I just have some extra money in my pocket just in case this goes wrong. And then if it just goes like this, you can go, okay, I'll take more money off. Okay, I'll take more money off. Kind of do that on the way up. Looks good. I mean, as far as like, waves goes, 1, 2, 3, 4, get that euphoric 5 and then flop that shit could be on the table. It just depends on if this is overall also like 1, 2, and you're still kind of figuring your stuff out. I'm not the best Elliott wave guy, but I'm just trying to show you like there's multiple things that are positive here. When does it go wrong? Daily flips down, daily confirms back below here. 2 hour doesn't look too risky. You could get 2 hour pullback and it'd be fine. You just don't want to lose the previous low of 1322. Nice wick. What are you seeing? Yes, sir. That SoFi play was fire, baby. It's a good one. And you didn't even have to see. That's the best part, Christopher. Don't you? That you know when I was talking about premium grabs with Apple, that's the best part about options. Like you can literally think of what a FOMO dude would want. Like that's what I do. So I think of psychology. So for like the SPY, I think like, oh, so if I was going to take a trade, like say we have a daily pullback, say we have a pullback like this, and I want to see like I'm like, oh, okay, 610 could get tagged. Sometimes what I'll do is reach out to like 618, 615 or something like that for a couple of weeks and say, some dude is going to FOMO right here, and I'm going to sell them my 615s before it even gets there because it's going to be worth triple at that point. I do like to sell options out of the money, like to people that I think that they will FOMO into. I don't try to reach too far up, but yeah, it's fun. Am I seeing a nice head and shoulders on SPY? It depends what time frame. Depends what time frame. I don't see daily. I don't see 30-minute. There's potential for head and shoulders. You definitely could say that. There's potential to create it right here. But I think you're more likely to do like this. I think you're going to at least extend the move. And then eventually I think you'll see that level broken, do something like this, maybe, right? We have to see how July goes. I still think you're in like this. I think you're looking maybe for a head and shoulders here. Qs, I think, have more of an argument, right? Like a 30-minute chart, they maybe had the argument. No, not really. See, I have this marked off as green, right? Green for me is like, this is opportunity until we lose the zone. Volatility, 30 minutes. Good confirmation here on the price. Good confirmation there with the RSI, and MACD is following. So, yeah, you might have that potential here. If you can do this, this is fantastic. If you can just do that today, then you can kind of pull back with not a lot of worry of trying to continue. You would like to see explosive into pullback, into explosive, then you pull back, like 2 hour pullback from the weekly expected move. 60% now broke that high. Pull on him. I know, Mr. Joshua. I know that's mean. I know that's mean, but overall, those people are gambling. Overall, those people are gambling. Or they're probably like people trying to make it as day traders. And I'm here to clap back at them and say, you know, a lot of people are bad at day trading. I'm here to clap back at them and say, stop gambling, go get some help. Like it's okay, here's how it goes, Mr. Joshua. Either I take their money or some rich dude at Wall Street takes their money. Who would you rather make their take their money? I would rather you, Mr. Joshua, take someone else's money than some Wall Street dude takes their money. That's how I think about it. New high on SPY or what? Zhang? Is the USA-China trade deal stock still going on? Apparently, there's supposed to be some information I'll say this week. This week. But, and Bitcoin's really trying to do stuff. But yeah, there's potentially information this week. I think it will come out. I think it will be good, but a lot of people are bullish right now, so I think it might stall. Except you, right, Chris? Chris, we trade way too differently. Like that's the thing, Chris. You're not gambling. I'm talking about like people who just like see the SPY here and go, "Oh, I'm shorting this," for no reason. Like they just guess. They have no analysis, or their analysis just doesn't make sense. As long as there is risk involved, it's a form of gambling. Okay, then I'll counter you on that, Primus. I'll counter you. Do you think it's gambling to be a roofer? Like to do roofing? Do you think it is gambling to have a child? Do you think it is gambling to work at a restaurant? Do you think it is gambling to get in your car today? Everything is a gamble. Literally everything is a gamble. Your job, literally in life, is to figure out, what am I good at? What do I suck at? Okay, I can be successful at something I'm good at, lean into my strengths. And yeah, I could get unlucky. It's still a gamble. I could show up to my $1 million a year job and accidentally hit someone with my car and they could sue me for $1 million and I'm poor. Literally everything's a gamble. It's just how much of gambling is partaking. How much is skill versus how much is luck is how you figure out if you are gambling or not. How do you figure out if an opportunity is a gamble? Your reasons for the trade. Yes, it is everything. Everything in life needs this. Every single thing in life needs this. Every single thing that you do has to have this. It's just how much of that. When you start to gamble, I would say, is when luck is 50% versus what? Skill. And all the things that come with skill, right? Skill, dedication, you could chop this up into a million pieces. What you want to do is make it so this L is small, but you still need some of it. And if you don't agree with that, I don't agree with you, and we can just think about life differently. But you can't tell me that a person who doesn't smoke their whole life doesn't have a chance to get lung cancer. They do. Right? What you did, you need this. You will need it. Right? But you can't see luck. Right? You can't really see it. What you want to do is put yourself in a situation where you can get easier luck. Oh, hold on one second. I got to pop upstairs for 1 second. Philosophy of Risk is a college course. Ooh, I kind of want to think about that. I took philosophy in college. It was so much fun. I love philosophy. It's so fun. But it's so like, nobody knows. Yeah, so I'm not like disagreeing with you, Primus, right? I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm just agreeing with you in a different way. Because I believe everything in life is a risk. I've literally had some of the most unlucky moments you can ever expect in your life. I've also had some of the luckiest moments that you could expect in your life. I almost committed suicide, and my dog is the reason that I didn't. Okay? When I lost my business, that's what happened. Do you think I feel very lucky right now that I didn't? I do, because I have a great family. Like, luck and unluck is in everything. But it's your preparation. It's the things you do before. It's all that kind of stuff, right? Exactly. Like, I'll share, like, you guys, I respect you guys. You're part of my community. I feel totally comfortable, like, mentioning that to you guys. I'm not going to sit here and talk about it. You don't need to be sad for me. I feel great. I'm literally living my best life right now. And guess what? Can life get better? Yeah. But right now, I'm in the present, and I choose to call this my best life. It's awesome. Isn't it? And life is good. Say that out loud to yourself every day when you wake up. Because I still struggle with those things, but I figured out myself. I understand myself better. It's great. You should understand yourself better while trading, right? Say, today is a good day. Because today is a good day, because today I decided not to risk any money because I'm a little confused with this market. So I'm going to go have some lunch. Today is a good day because I saw that DJT was setting up a divergence, and I have the opportunity to try to be successful in this trade. But I want to wait until I don't have to depend on some big portion of luck. So I want to wait till momentum tells me it's going to go up. This hasn't confirmed yet. This is red now. This is why you wait for the 2-hour bar to the last like 20 minutes. This could make a divergence right here. Now I use my skills, right? It's great stuff. Literally, even if you are having a bad day, shit happens. Like literally. You can't change something that you can't control, right? Now, if you did something bad, you have to own up to it, right? That's the easiest way to get through it. Own up to it. Mentally. Man, this is really an interesting market right now with these reversal signals, but also potential to squeeze. I am interested. Anybody else? I'm interested. Maybe a fun play. Do we need a fun play? Does Lucas need a day trade for a fun play? No. That'd be crazy. Because I'm just saying, puts for the day have to be friggin' cheap. How much are those 594s? 50 cents? Nah. Let's see, weekly expected move. Let's see, weekly expected move. As what? Still call side? Yeah, still call side. I wonder if weekly expected move is like outside move. Pretty cheap. 82 cents end of week. Not bad. I think it's just too, no. My wife's still sick. I can't day trade. I'm not allowed to because I won't be able to be at my computer too often today. My wife is like, has serious, like, I don't know if she got an ulcer or something. She has like serious stomach pain, like serious. Like she cannot move. She's trying to take care of a child. TM can all be traded. Okay, TM. I do want to look at this. I might do something with this. This would be fun. This is 2-hour pullback. Okay. Just daily? That's daily pullback. TM's about to run again. Just telling you. It looks like TM's about to run again. You know, make sure you understand how you can be wrong. Great price action move there. Get a nice green bar on the 2-hour, right? Get a nice green bar on the 2-hour. This thing looks like, you know, you could daily swing trade. The risky person is already in the daily swing trade. Yeah, you guys can say thank you, Alan. I was staring into a dark room for like hours. I remember it to this day. I was full standing up. I probably looked like a zombie or something. It was wild back then because I look back, I'm like, man, I was so crazy that day. But great structure to do what? Bam, bam, bam. Like, do you guys see why I appreciate this community so much? The things I've been through, the things my wife, you guys don't even know. Like, you think you feel any kind of way for me? I don't care. Don't feel that way for me. I'll take care of myself. I appreciate it. I'd rather just share it a little bit and be like, hey, if you're going through it, you can talk to me. But she's been through worse than me, so you can only imagine. This right here. Bam. Take that shit out. That's where this wants to go right now. That would be... Holy fam. That'd be so nice. Weekly curl up. Oh, this is nice too. Like the actual low you made, low, high, new high. I think Tempest might be coming back again. Gotta make sure for confirmations, use your skills, okay? But Tempest, my goodness. Ed, what were you talking about? Which one, Ed? I'm sorry, I kind of forget. I check so many stocks during the public streams. There's some issue with Tempest, some fraud accusation. Who's in this? Is Nancy Pelosi in this still? Oh, Tempest AI. Someone check if Orange Man is about to do. That's facts. Nancy has calls. All right, cool. Then no fraud. There can be all the fraud you want. But she usually plays it longer out. Like you want to look at those contracts. I think she does like what? Does she do annual or 3-year? January 26th? Oh, then oh, okay, okay. I don't know. I think she'll hold for the long haul there, but this just looks like a daily trend move to the upside. Divergence on the MACD. I don't think it's on the RSI. Barely not on the RSI. I'd have a little bit of confidence with that. Not call it divergence, but have some confidence with that RSI down there. God dang it. Why I gotta be doing these things. This is why I really want to switch to private streams. I think I'll not miss too many of these. But I like that you guys bring these up. These are very, very good looks. This is a very, very good behaving stock right now. Can you always go lower? Yes, you can always fail. But this would say right here is where people take that opportunity. You can see that people right here take that opportunity at this line, right? Good buyers. You see they take the opportunity. Why? Because the price of the stock goes up. So if you're not losing this, you're pretty safe here. You can get that daily confirmation. I would even say you get a 2-hour confirmation here. You're probably going to get one retest at some point if this screams. You're going to get like one moment where it could retest if you want to be patient. Feel like being a less risky but might miss the move type of guy. But for me, I would just have confidence in this. If the 2-hour curls up, I'm happy. 30-minute does not look like horrible at this point. You actually took out the high, you retested the buyers, and yeah, this really wants to go up. Yeah, and you don't really have reversal. So reversal here, if you get like trapped in some kind of reversal here, there's not anything that's really giving you that hint. So don't beat yourself up about it. But if you're going for a bull trade here, I'm leaning that direction for Tempest. Again, let me look at this for a fun play. How much is Tempest? I wish I had a monthly expected move for this, man. Where do I think it's going? Let's do equal measured move from here. Let's not get too greedy. Here to here. Let's just not get too greedy. 77. Oh boy. Yeah, there's some wild stuff, man. There's some weird stuff too. Those are, you can wow, it's weird. Some of the options up at these type of levels between 70 and 90, like in between here, you're getting like 5 cents for end of week, 20 cents for end of week, 5 cents for end of week, 50 cents for end of week, 5 cents for end of week, 50 cents. It's kind of wild. Oh wait, yeah, I gotta go upstairs for 1 second. Let me go check on my wife. Check on her real quick, guys. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Good, good, good. Abuela came over, so she's helping her out for the time being. We are seeing the 30-minute with a little bit of weakness here. My mother-in-law will be leaving in about 20 minutes, so I got about 20 minutes left. She said she can stay a little bit after 10. Let me charge my headphones. God, I hate streaming without headphones. I like the silence. I literally use noise canceling headphones with nothing playing. I haven't even been playing. Like, notice this, guys. Remember in 2024 where I'd like listen to music in my headphones on stream? You'd hear me like just freaking having a good time. 2025, that kind of stopped. Been a crazy year. It's been a lot of fun. How's dollar doing? Positive trend. Pull it back, baby. I like hood. You're a little low on funds. Okay. Oh. You know it would be interesting for hood. Well, ooh, God. It's just very far away from the center line. Yo, hood, are you like almost tapped out or what? Where is hood gonna go? Dude, this would be awful. There's two areas. Nothing over there. Now it's over here. You're hoping for this. That's what you're hoping for. If you run into a problem, though, you want to make sure to hold that. Those are the two big blocks that you need to hold up. So as long as you're above this and you see like daily curl down, daily curl up, what's actually very likely to happen here is you can see like FOMO trap, then you come down, then you bounce up, or actually you probably FOMO trap, then you see a big move down, react up, react down again, and then this might be an opportunity deep again. I'm inclined to not think that's going to happen though, unfortunately. That would be too much. That would mean we're gonna like vomit in July. Yeah, that might be too much. I just think if you were in this and you were bullish at the right time, divergence, right? Bam. If you're in this at the right time, you're just happy with the play. You're kind of like, I'm done. I'll wait for the next bullish opportunity. Look at this thing, man. Like, look at this MACD. All you have to do is do this and be like, okay, I'm going to look at this MACD. Didn't cross. Didn't cross. And it goes, whoop. Oh, it crossed. Okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, literally, you could just do this. Okay. All right. Wow, that thing's plummeting. Wait, why did it cross up? Oh, okay, I'm in. And then you go, okay, I'm watching out for lower high. I'm looking for how it reverses. Still making my plan. But you can literally be that simple with these kinds of things. Daily divergence, not necessarily there yet. So you're very likely to see another wave. You could probably see multiple waves. You don't have to go to these zones, right? These are just to give you guidelines of like how bullish or bearish are you looking. Okay, hey, we broke this, so there's a chance we go all the way down to here. But if I see reversal signals anywhere, I'm paying attention, right? You don't just pay attention to these. You should have weekly, monthly expected moves. Oh, with the July private streams, I'm trying to make a little system so you can get monthly expected moves, and I'll even teach you during those streams in July, maybe not in July, but by the end of the year, one of our learning streams on like a Sunday or just a private learning stream, we will teach you how to set up a spreadsheet for your weekly and monthly expected moves. So you can make them for other stocks, okay? That way you guys have access to it, and you guys can share that information with the with that private group. That would be awesome. What do you think Q's intraday high and low target is? That's too hard to say. You're getting theta burned right now. I think a lot of people are expecting news. So far, that seems to be the case. I think a lot of people are going, what's going to be said by Trump and Besant later today? So that's kind of hard to say. I would say this, though. If momentum curls down here and you lose this previous little 5-minute low, then I think it's very likely we're going to see a tag of 524.71, 525 for the Qs. So I'm saying if you see this and you close like this, you can start to teeter down over time and trickle down to this type of line by the end of the day, right? Maybe even by, I would say by end of day. Like that would probably be like a, what, a 15-minute low? Yeah, it's a 15-minute low. So there's a 15-minute low. We're grinding. You know, I don't think this is like, in this environment, it could be a trade. I get it. You can execute on any trade that you're comfortable with, but I would still say break that low, boom, retest, go lower, right? Because right now, what are you doing? As far as the 15-minute chart goes, we're looking at price action right now, if you're aware. This is price action behavior. This is not necessarily like full technicals. You have a high, you have a new high, you have a new high in the near term. This guy's still a little risky. You have a low, you have a new low. And what did you do in this? You buyers stepped in. Here's the buyers right down in here. If you want to, you can go down to this wick. You didn't really go down there, but you did come reach into those buyers. And then you went up again and made a new high. So what could happen right now? Well, you would like those buyers to step in earlier. You would potentially like those buyers to step in here, but they do have the full potential to step in all the way down towards this wick, right? So if I was trying to figure out which way this market's going, I would be marking off that wick, and I would be paying attention to right in here at 530.50 level. You need to see more positivity here. You need to get overbought. You need to go. You need to go up. Like this is not exciting. You want this to eventually get a retest that causes it to go boom. But I think this is where people are waiting for potential news. For a second there, I thought my mic was muted and I just talked for 10 minutes. That would have been awful. So Nana, that's kind of how I see it for now. I think if we start to lose this low, I think we'll head kind of down this direction by end of day. But as of right now, the market, the 15-minute price action actually is still suggesting that you are higher probability to go this way right now. Like, sorry, I said right now. I would say by end of day, with the stipulation of you could get theta burned here because people are waiting for news. Okay? So like, I prefer like day trading is, I think day trading is better when volatility is really high. I prefer swings for the most part. I think you could day trade this up. You just want to be bigger time frame. And I don't know. I think you still want like weak options or like at least like 3 DTE or something like that, and let the move happen for a day. Let it happen for 24 hours kind of deal. Or see if the move happens within that 24 hours. You get one move and you go, okay, I'm done, right? Get one of those legs on like a 15-minute. But if you're looking for something bigger than this, you can get theta burned all day if you're not going to get news today. APLD. Where's my thing? I kind of had a brain fart there. APLD. APLD, people really liking this one. Now, I'm not big on 15-minute charts for technicals, okay? I don't look at 15-minute charts very often for technicals, but I do utilize it for managing trades, okay? So if there is some form of 30-minute divergence here and the 15-minute does curl up, that would say that this trade is going wrong, and price action would also agree with that. So if the 15-minute curls up here, you can see good upside. I said that because it looked like we had extreme 30-minute divergence, okay? So what you're looking for from this 30-minute divergence is kind of it to break this low, and then you want to see it make that right shoulder that could have been. And this is the less risky opportunity if you see it kind of reject off down here or up in this level. Right now, you're doing your things. I wouldn't say it's like risky if you utilize your skills, right? You confirmed right here. You're going down. You say, how close is the 15-minute to the center line? If that crosses up, boom, to the upside, right? So if the 15-minute crosses up, our short's going to pay. Like, are you going to be able to? Are the value of your put position going to pay? Like, go up? No, it's going to go down. So if the 15-minute curls up here, you want to be assuming that this is going to go wrong. And then if the 15-minute goes up and you just see it kind of like roll and reject, you can be right back in the move. For APLD, this thing's already screamed, so you're probably looking for some sort of rotation. I don't think you have to go all the way down to these levels, but I think you could. Pretty much at this point, you're doing the MACD thing, right? Either this thing is just going to keep going up and up and up and forever. So if you're an investor and you're holding on to the stock and you're willing to hold it for 5 years, you're just happy. But if this would pull down, the next opportunity would potentially be whenever this happens, right? This could happen like that, like this. You catch a little move in there. Hopefully it's lower though, so you have more room. Because a lot of the time, the second push, you're going to make a divergence. It can be quick, but you're making a divergence or something like that. So for this one, I think daily pullback. Let's look 2 hour. 2 hour pullback's next opportunity though. So where does the 2 hour want to pull back to? 30-minute can still do its thing, but there's extreme divergence, so watch out. The 2 hour wants to pull back into here first. So this will be your first level where you're paying attention. It's right there, right in here. Oh, 30-minute does whatever. 2 hour trickles down, it dumps for a second, then curls up. 2 hour curls down, curls up. You could say like, hey, if I get a 2 hour cross down and a 2 hour crosses back up, and it's Wednesday, well, then I can maybe target like next week's weekly expected move, right? Boom, boom, boom. We get to that on, say, Monday. And then you say, okay, we're good to go. We're done. $18 looks pretty good. And then another thing you want to watch for here is if the 2 hour makes divergence like here or a lower high in here. So there's a lot of things. You notice that we have to talk about a lot of risky things that could shape up. You see, there's a lot of ways for things to break up. There's a lot of ways for things to break down. And your job is to just understand those ones in your play, what could go wrong, and just create a very simple plan. I remember that band. Create a simple plan and just be like, okay, I'm going to follow that plan. My skills say this. If this is by the center line and crosses, I'll be out. If it crosses back up, I can go right back in just in case it's a fake out. Oh, it didn't cross back up. I'm glad I sold that, right? SPY on the 15 almost crossed up. The crazy part is like the shorter time frames are where you're going to see the work done. The 30 minutes just going to look awful all day until you see that thing just get a reaction. So I guess if you take it into consideration, you want to be looking and being like, okay, are we continuing to try to make new highs? All right. But still holding. This move right now. Yeah, you could try to break to the upside here. Ugh. It looks good from a price action perspective. React up. Retest buyers, go up again. It looks good from this perspective. I'm just having a hard time explaining things a lot of the time because your technicals look so fucking bad. I will say that. So video will go to 150 when smiley keys are overextended, and then it's a great short for everything. Rajiv, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna do that with you, but I might. You want to look for new all-time high traps though. Like the good behavior to do, you can be successful by, having, like, let's say having a monthly expected. We haven't talked about Meta. Let's talk about it on Meta. You can be successful by doing these type of things. I think Chris does it. Like, let's say this is a yellow line, because Patreon members have this info. This is not a real level I'm doing. I'm just explaining. You can see something like this and be like, okay, this is going to be a top for Meta. Or you can be patient, because a lot of the time you'll see a FOMO move first. What would the FOMO move look like? Because this is pretty extended across. So I kind of want to see like that wavy type move. I want to see this go like that. And then I want to see this go like that around this yellow line. Remember, this is not a real monthly expected move. But let me go check Meta, because I'm pretty sure it's outside of a monthly expected move. Yeah, Meta's outside of a monthly expected move. So you're actually looking for pretty much this. Now, that can take place there. You saw NVIDIA close way outside of the May monthly expected move, and I believe it was Tesla as well. So don't think that it has to stop. So let's put this in the general area where that bad boy is for the monthly to help you guys out. So this means even if this extends, right, you see some kind of random squeeze, you're still looking for reversal signals up here that can tell you a daily's curling back down by the end of the month, right? This right here would be like Friday. This would be going into the end of the month, and then you see a dump, and then everyone thinks it's horrible. And you're like, yeah, it could be, but if the daily just like curls up right here, it's good. If I see 2-hour divergence right here, it's good. If I see 30-minute divergence here, there might be a little 2-hour trade. Maybe volatility has increased with this big drop. And you notice, what would this set up? It would give you the way higher with a new high on the daily time frame by taking that out, even getting a crazy move like that. And then you can dip down into this area. And you can see if it's more corrective. You can see if it's bigger to the downside. Because if you would pull down anywhere in this type of area, and you see this kind of go bam, 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 you can curl down and go retest and fill some gaps, right? We still have, I'm not necessarily leaning towards that for Meta. I think it went way too bullish. But I will say it's possible in the July environment to do that. So this is the first zone. This is the second zone. And if you get down to that second zone, think about it. If there's going to be a mega boom into 2026, which I think is very possible, what are they going to try to do before that mega boom happens? They're going to try to convince you that the market looks terrible and you should be not in it. And your job is to say, okay, the news is telling me one thing, but what are technicals telling me? And then after those technicals tell you something, you go, okay, what is price action telling me? And then you go, okay, they're still talking bearish about the market while the technicals and the price action is showing people are buying. Okay, so from this standpoint, do I think Meta's a great opportunity right now? No. Do I think Meta could be a great opportunity in like a month? Yes. I think it could be great. Like, this will just be that squeeze. This is going to be FOMOers, guys, for Meta. This will be FOMOers, but they're going to do the job, and the algorithm's going to use them and just sell on them. Right? So Meta, if this goes and makes a new high and you see a 2-hour divergence here, you can risk to reward 700 for like a put and just say, hey, if we come tag 700, I can make some quick money and catch like a little 40, 50 point move, you know? And you have to be able to execute that trade because it's squeezing. You're going against it. So if it doesn't break that low and it just curls up, you have to realize you're wrong. You have to admit that you're wrong. If you admit that you're wrong, you can save money, right? Wake up every day and say, I'm going to be a good trader, meaning what? I'm going to wait for opportunity. If I take a short or if I take a put or a call, I'm going to have a plan for if that goes wrong. Because one of the big accomplishments that people don't consider is being able to sell something when it is going wrong based on your plan. It is a good thing because you're telling the market maker, you will not take 100% of my money. You can take 10%, you can take 15%, you can take 20%, you can take 50%. I'm not giving it all to you right now. Because most of the time I'm successful, right? I have a higher percentage of wins than losses. So most of the time I'm successful. So yeah, I lost $1,000 this week. Okay. But next week I'm going to do the play and guess what? I'm going to make 3,000. And then you just go keep the game going. You will get pullbacks in your portfolio, right? Your portfolio never looks like this. No, your portfolio looks like this. It's usually a series of highs and lows. You make a mistake, comes back, you make a couple more mistakes. Okay, now we're down. Now we're back in an uptrend. We're doing well, right? The important part is to continue the game going. Because in here, if you don't sell when you're wrong, this moment can turn into this moment. Because you didn't sell on an option when you were wrong. You don't want that. You want to admit that you were wrong when you know that there's a high probability of you being wrong. And then if it curls back up, you go, okay, cool, market maker. You can try to mess with me. Cool, Wall Street. You can try to mess with me, but I trade like water, motherfucker. So I think a daily pullback would be the next opportunity. I think the next real good opportunity is a daily pullback. Like if you're not already in this for some contracts a month out like we were just a few weeks ago, then it's going to be difficult unless you're one of those like weak option traders. H2O. IBIT. What is IBIT? Okay, it is the Bitcoin one. Okay. This is what I tried to make weekly and monthly ranges for, and it like did not work. So what I like to do with these though, when I traded them, I tried not to do options. I did options originally. It didn't work out. So I tried to just do like, hey, can I safely make like 10%? And so from these type of confirmations, it's like, okay, can I safely make 10% out of this? Options. So these can be successful plays. What I learned from playing this was weekly expected moves, monthly expected moves. It's not the most helpful thing in the world. I think it does still work, but a little bit less than 68% of the time because it's Bitcoin. So what I like to do and what I figured out, this actually IBIT, I think it was BITO, if I'm not mistaken. One of those. There were two. I think this was one of them. These convinced me to treat this like volatility. So what do I do with UVXY? I look at volatility, and when I see something good on volatility, I buy UVXY. I blatantly don't look at UVXY. This is like I look at Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin sets up the opportunity, then I take the opportunity for IBIT. And that actually made the success rate increase a little bit. Did it increase to the point where I was making crazy amounts of money to where I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to put this on my list and watch it all the time? If I can't make monthly and weekly expected moves, I just feel a lot, I know that's weird, but no, it's not really weird. I just feel a lot safer with weekly expected moves and monthly expected moves. I know blatantly where the risk is, and they don't perform the best for IBIT. It doesn't mean you can't make money out of it. Just think simple, okay? 2 hour, what do we have? You don't really have diverse, you don't have this. Okay, cool. What does Bitcoin have on the 4 hour? Because a 2 hour is a 4 hour over here. Well, Bitcoin made a 4 hour divergence. Okay, you couldn't catch that. Why could you not catch that? Well, actually, you could catch it on Friday. So this said right here on Friday, or sorry, Thursday, Friday. No, it'd be very difficult to catch this still, unless you're waiting for all confirmations. So this would be Friday after hours. You would have kind of had to take on some risk here to really be confident with this play. So what would I be looking for now from this? If you get lucky, you'll get a retest. Okay, if this is going to perform like a stock, you're going to get a retest. Wow, look at that 4 hour. God dang, that's a good pullback. Actually, is this behaving well? That's the problem, though. I did this multiple times. Nice. Daily pullback? Yeah. All right, didn't break this. That's pretty good. Come up, come into it, showed way higher, react down, then curl up. I will tell you this. Watch out for a trap here in the next few days from Bitcoin. Sorry, I'm okay, here we go. So if Bitcoin doesn't mega squeeze here, but you just see like this week, maybe going into next week, and then you see that confirm back down, maybe a 2 hour divergence in here, right? Just be cautious. It's showing you pathway higher on the daily, but it's also saying like, hey, the weekly is a little bit tapped out. So we might see like a weekly pullback. I don't think it'll be like terrible. Yeah, and I don't think you want the weekly to cross down. Are we about to see something? What the? You need Bitcoin to squeeze here. There's a lot of risk here. Yeah, there's some risk here. Yeah, there's a little bit of risk here for the weekly scale to go all the way back down into these levels. What date were we here? October lows? No way. So if you set up the daily and this starts to give up a lot of price action and you see that weekly confirm, you definitely don't want to be messing around with that. What you want to see from Bitcoin here is a pullback on the weekly that does not cross the MACD. You see the zone you're in. You showed your way higher. That's awesome. You're trying to go even higher. But if you need to reload with some buyers, you could dip into that 98.3 and you could still dip all the way into 88.5. So this says this daily swing trade, you want it to squeeze, right? And if you start to see the signs that it could fall, like a daily confirms back down over here, you just want to be like, okay, I'm not trading Bitcoin. So you could probably catch a nice move to like 115K here. And then if you mega squeeze, I think you could go all the way up to like 129. and then you're like, you're going to keep going. Now, considering this with Bitcoin, Bitcoin's a little bit ahead of the market and already received a daily pullback. I think this is coming for the market. So if we take that into consideration with the SPY and say like, oh, okay, that means maybe the SPY continues for a bit and then pulls back or pulls back right now, you would still be like, okay, if we're here, I'm looking here. If we're here right now, we fall, I'm looking here with the availability of this going further down. But right now, Bitcoin behaved like this. Bam, 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 right? That's how Bitcoin wants to behave right now. You can see the same type of zone right here. We'll see if that takes place. We got to watch this stuff very carefully over the next week and a half. That's what I'm saying. Like Bitcoin looks like it's going to die off if it confirms weekly. The reason I'm looking at this critically, if you notice, we have multiple pushes in positive territory, right? What happens when you get multiple pushes in positive territory for Bitcoin? Well, big ones on the weekly. You go like this. And what else? You have people saying like, oh, Bitcoin can go to 1 million, Bitcoin can go to 3 million, Bitcoin can go to 400,000. You're getting crazy people to say crazy things. So my question is just like, what if Bitcoin goes like this? Right? What if it ping pongs between the zones and then just confirms this weekly down? The weekly ends up going slightly negative. You curl up thinking it's all good, and it could be all good by that point. That could just be the pullback, right? So maybe you want to hop in for a second in case it just bursts through. But then if you see like 2-hour or 4-hour divergence or daily divergence right there, or just like daily lower high, then you're like, okay, this is going to roll and go negative. That's not a good sign for Bitcoin. I'm not leaning towards that for Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's ahead of the market. So whatever Bitcoin does next, I will take into consideration for the SPY. But it looks like it might be building up to dump at the same time. That's what's weird. Anybody else see what I see? A lot of stocks at that point. I have my load. If you guys want my load the boat no matter what zone for Bitcoin, hold on to for the long run. It's actually way down here. Like the crash moment, like 2026, I could see Bitcoin going down to 13.6 all the way down to 2.7. That is I don't think we'll get there level. I think you'll get to like here type of level. But if you do things like this, you can see that pathway down. Okay. Now that's really dramatic. It's probably going to be like right. So this purple area here is my just buy no matter what area for Bitcoin the next time if it can get there. The other time I would be buying Bitcoin is the next if like we dump here is any kind of daily divergence down here or daily high or low down here. Just so you're aware. VIX 9-day up 10%. What's our boy Wolfie? I thought you died. I thought you died, Wolfie boy. Mags. Yeah, we're not even that overbought for mags. Like I feel like we can continue this move. Anybody else? Maybe some breadth comes in. We just see some rotation and some other breadth come in with some potential news. Ooh. All right, sorry, I'm clicking around too much. I'll click around on my other charts. I apologize. See, it just refuses to curl down. Crazy. AMC GME about to die by the looks of it. Yeah, see, that's the rejection. Ugh, that's so bad. Them dying, I actually would rather them die before GME earnings, though. I would rather them like burn before earnings. Hmm. Wait a second. Yeah, I'm going to do some things. I think. Let's see this guy. we'll do that. So I'm gonna try to uh, reposition longs with this. Yeah, I'm gonna try to reposition longs here. So I am taking my risk out of the market for like a day here, just for today, and then I'm gonna look at end of day. I think that's the best decision for me because we're already up at these levels. Even if it goes up, I don't really care about this move too much. I don't need to make a bunch of money right now. I'd rather like see if a short pops up or see if this pulls down and then curls up into positive territory. That means for Apple, I did take my risk out for Apple for now. I'm looking to see if I can get just a 30-minute pullback to reposition maybe here if I can get that to curl up one more time. I just want to make sure that we shake off this, right? You just see in my voice right away, I'm like, I decided. I just decided, right? And we all make different decisions. You might be willing to hold here. I decided to see if we would pull back with these type of earnings and things going on this week, with the looks that we have in the market. I want to see if we pull back to that 595. And then I think that will cause a pullback for a lot of other things. Yeah, it's taking too long. Apple's taking too long. Yeah, it's showing pathway higher here, but we're still not breaking this. Like 2 hours not really showing you that higher yet. If that starts to happen, I'll look for that, price action pullback or something. Because right now you potentially want to come into this. You already came into the gap once, but you potentially want to come into like right here. So I want to see if this happens. Anything like this into that. And then by like Wednesday, we start to do this. I think that'd be fun. That means the only one that I am still looking at is still DJT. I want to see if this guy really wants to set up the 30-minute divergence here as well. So still looking at Apple for a small pullback now. I'm taking patience into consideration here. I am looking at DJT, Apple, and I will look at GME and AMC to get an option play again on those as I took those off for the time being in the next couple of days. I think AMC has a chance to go down to like $3. Oh. Yeah, JP Morgan getting the wick down. That's still good. Like this stuff can squeeze for sure. But like you guys have to understand, I'm having to take care of my wife too. Like it's been very difficult for me to. You guys probably saw like on Patreon, I came into our chat on Patreon and I was just like typing for like an hour, a bunch. Yeah, I was just like, I don't have a lot of time right now. She has to go back to the doctor soon. Like they said, if the pain persists, we'll do some more tests. And it is still going. Trust me, she's up there. That's why Abu's here today. Look at NU real quick. Okay, I went over. NU breaking the low, not a good sign. Clear pathway down. What you look for here is you really want to see the lower high before you really get bearish, but I get it. Start to get a little bit bearish here on the 30-minute. We have to look at the other time frames. Yeah, this low breaking on the 30-minute isn't a good sign, and you have a clear area where sellers could step in. So if you're able to take this bar back, it'll be a good thing. So if the 30-minute crosses up in positive territory, it's kind of like, hey, we want to go higher. That's how this flips back around. But right now, this is a bearish break for your 30-minute. Is it bad for your 2-hour? It could be. You just saw that level break. Is it bad for the 2-hour? Technically, no. But how will you know when it's bad for the 2-hour based on your charts, based on your indicators, MACD crosses? How do you know it based on, like, say, technicals with the moving averages? Well, when it breaks cleanly the 9, it's about to confirm in 3 minutes. Okay. So this means that NU is likely to see a 2-hour move down. I would really be marking off this right here, just the, well, what's the lowest wick? It doesn't really matter, but we'll just mark off one of these. Looks like they're pretty even, so that's fine. If you start to lose that area, it starts to get risky. Now, that's in consideration with what? If you see this like break all of a sudden and then just confirm back up, you go, oh, that's divergence. Okay, we take out this level. We're back on the bull, baby. Right? There's always a way to read into where the opportunity would be next. If this, so right now it's if this, then what? Right? Patreon members, you guys remember the private stream when we did this? Let's do it for these guys now. If what? So if I'm not an NU and I want a potentially good trade, I would say if I get a higher low or divergence on 2-hour ... and then you write another one. You go, then I take call for break of $12. Set plan for if goes wrong. So I have to wait for confirmation, but the plan for if it goes wrong is what? Well, this will be a 2-hour trade if this sets up. So my plan for if it goes wrong is very simply, if 30-minute curls down, what is it? If 30-minute curls down in negative territory or failed new 2-hour high. That's it. There's your trade setup. This is what we were extensively doing yesterday during the live show. So that means if I go down to 1150 and I curl up on the 2-hour to like $12, sorry, this is pretty tight. I didn't realize how tight it was. So you're probably going to need more than that. You would be looking for, then I take a call for the break of $12. And then you would say, then hold. And it's actually not $12. You have to mark it off because this is a smaller stock than I thought. $12.25. Right? So there's your kind of plan. And then you can see if you can execute on that plan. And what is the management for risk right there? What is that part? Well, that's here. Right? If you curl down and curl back up and you go into a 30-minute chart and this 30-minute chart goes doot, and you're down here. And then you see that 2-hour divergence confirm and you take out that high. But if this is like here and then it goes like this, and it curls down, rejects, without finding those buyers, it's going to be a problem, right? You might want to be risk off for a moment, wait for that to curl up again, and then you go, okay, now this is very likely to break that high. It's just kind of trading like water for a moment there. But that's how I like to do things. We're different, though. We can be different. It's fine. Let's go look at volatility. Volatility, it's just going into the gap, right? So this is where you look for, okay, right? Here you go. 2-hour divergence. We pop. Okay? Then it starts to fail and you go, okay, it's failing. I want to be out. Then if it does this, you go right back in. You say, okay, try to make new high, right? But I'm not big on volatility plays right now. I think you would want to be quick with it, right? I think you want to be like, okay, I'm going to catch some kind of move like this. Because literally it's just so hard to short with the amount of like squeezing that can take place. And you at 1190, shares only. Oh, shares only is totally different. Shares only, you're kind of fine with this. Like yeah, if you're shares, you're just like, hey, I want the 30, but I want this to behave well. But overall, you're like, I just want the daily to curl up and buy. Like, you're fine in these type of areas. What you're looking for on the daily is just like, hey, just if that does break the low, just watch out. That's kind of freaky because watch this, right? Right now, you could end up back down into what? Like this type of area. like right there. And you kind of look and you're just like, okay, well, I do this. Okay, we measure like this, blah, blah, blah. Let's say we break down. Ooh, we could break that low. So that's the only thing you're really worried about. But I think you're very likely to continue the daily move right now. All right, if you wanted to mark off like the high point to the low point, you can. Wham. Then you say, okay, so what are we doing right now? We're potentially going to do this. This should be a 2-hour pullback. But if you curl up the daily at any time, what's your rules for a swing trade, right? What's the reasons? Well, your reasons for the trade haven't triggered yet. They are triggering here. So you say, I'm in. What's the reason to get out for the swing trade, right? The if, then for your management of the trade. If this is going to fail, then a 2-hour is going to cross down into negative territory. Where is your 2-hour? It is negative territory. It doesn't mean I can't get, you're in shares, right? That's even better. So it doesn't mean I can't get right back in. Like you don't have to deal with value of options, anything, any delta, any like reaching out, time won't be against you. You just want to be like, hey, that can drop to lower levels. So maybe I want to see the way higher first or see confirmations for a daily swing trade. Yeah, we talked about Bitcoin a little bit. Bitcoin looks good overall. It's already received its daily pullback. So Bitcoin looks good overall. I'm worried about a daily divergence to be 100%. I don't think you see anything. Yeah, no reversal here. Sorry. No reversal there. You might look for a pullback, but other than that, the daily is going to try to get going. The riskier thing for me is just, do we kind of fool around and eventually go make this divergence and then cross back down and start to fail? Right? Okay, look at this. Look at this. Doesn't this look perfect? What does that look like to you right now? John T, what does this look like to you? 1165 can re-enter a fake out. Exactly. That's the benefit, heel toe. The benefit of not doing options is just like you can hold a little bit longer. You're not worried about reacting, buying back in. What does that look like? Potentially. I only ever trade shares. That's probably a better thing to do, especially if you're younger guys. You don't have to do options. If you see that, you get a little worried. All right. You see that, it starts to get a little worrisome. It does look like a retest right now. You're correct. You're paying attention to the first thing. That's correct. I'm just showing you the risky thing that can form. You don't want that to form. All you want here is this. Up, then down, then up, then down, then up, then down, then up, then down. You only want up and down. If you want this thing to just do Bitcoin things and keep going, right? You want what? Up, then down, 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 then up, then down, then up, then down, then up, right? You want to just keep seeing it go. And then what will form? Look at this. Think you couldn't have called the top on Bitcoin? Boom. What formed at the top? Exactly what we just drew out. Look at this. Ready? Boom, boom, boom. Oh, Bitcoin did irrational things. This wasn't it. Uh-oh, that one was it. We actually break the low here, and then we do what? Left, head, right shoulder. So one little more push, that FOMO push higher, right? Yeah. And look, it's really close to the center line. That's when Bitcoin's going to fall. And guess what? It's going to retest, but it broke this low. Price action added up to it too. Price action and signals here on Bitcoin both called this out. Right here, you go, oh, there's divergence. I'm going to try short. And then what happens? It doesn't break. It doesn't do this. Right? Instead, you continue the move and you do it later. Now, knowing that that's going to happen, no one knows that's going to happen. You being aware of that it can happen is what matters. So what do you want to see right now? You want to see it continue, right? I'm assuming you want it to continue, right? So right now, you just have one wave higher. Last time, I just showed you that major top. We had to make divergence here that was extreme. Guess what? We made triple divergence here as well, technically. And then from here, you want it to go boom and even get a divergence. It's okay if you get a divergence. You just curl down, you curl back up, and then 120 gets hit and you start to see that break. It could extend, right? So either one of those can play out. I think Bitcoin will not make a triple divergence. I think Bitcoin will go like this. I really do think Bitcoin will do this, and then it'll fall. And then I think the market overall could like, maybe the market experiences pullback like now. I don't know. Or market extends, then pulls back on the daily, then sees that July boom for a moment here, and then starts to fall. This is around July. So I'm saying like the market could kind of look like this. So delete that. I think the SPY looks something like this. So we pull that over to the SPY. We say, okay, so if the market wants to do something like that, all right, what would that look like? Okay. So early July. And I do, okay, I did mention this at the beginning. I'll mention it again at the end because I'm about to hop off. Always a bullish and bearish case. That is right, Jim. Now, I'll mention this at the end. Look at the things going on in Cali right now. If that continues, just be a little bit cautious. Okay, if that continues to scale up, hopefully it dies down. I don't want to see people getting hurt out there. But if that scales up, do you think people in that area will be happy about celebrating America or not? That's all I'm saying. I think there's a window of weakness somewhere around July 4th to mid-July with these things. So I would just take that into consideration, okay? And we'll pay attention to signals with you. We will be here. We will be making YouTube videos. We will be mentioning things on Patreon. We will be here the whole time. That is the point of this channel. Give back to my fellow retail traders by just watching this stuff with you and telling you what I see. And then it will hopefully help you make those individual decisions that you would like to make by taking my opinion into consideration. That's okay. We're just buddies looking at stocks together. And I've looked at this a little bit longer than a lot of people. More hours looking at charts. That's all. You look at this for the amount of hours I have, you're going to look at charts exactly how I am. You're going to see it exactly the same. You're going to go find other YouTubers you trust. They're going to be talking a lot about risk right now. Risk of downside. But we can still squeeze. They're going to be saying that. They're going to be saying, we can squeeze here. We need to squeeze here. There is technical risk. There is technical weakness. There is weakness in momentum. Anyone that is paying attention to momentum here should be saying there is weakness in momentum, but we can squeeze if we just curl up. So if they aren't saying that last part, you know, take it with a grain of salt. Yes, so okay, so you're talking head and shoulders later on. You're talking this one, right? We do this, we show that way higher, then we do this, or we hold up better, right? And we see that. Maybe we come all the way down into this, but we don't lose all of it, and then we turn up into positive territory, and we can start to break through and see some crazy stuff. Now, that would add up to mid-July, so I'm not necessarily leaning towards that. I think that this will drag out for a little bit, or we're just going to, like, dump randomly somewhere. This literally could end at any moment, and I wouldn't be surprised. I just wouldn't want it to end right now. If you end right now, you still have the doors open for these type of things to get filled. So I would rather us extend. That way we have the chance to hold up here or here. And then this would have to be like we are seeing something absolutely awful in the market, and we want to be aware of further downside if you see these levels again. Like we could bounce and it could be, because like this scenario here brings this negative, right? This over here brings you negative. All right, you can go slightly negative in here. You go up, what's more likely? Ooh, that could fail. So if we extend up though, this kind of goes away. It doesn't fully go away. Everything's always has like a 1%, right? But if we can do this upside move, it creates a lot more bullish continuation opportunity. Let's put it that way. Good concept. Hey, thanks for that, Jorgen. Okay, Sonny's got it. Looks like a reverse head and shoulders. Yeah, so you really want to see the pathway higher. So I'll give you one last lesson, and then I have to take off as far as head and shoulders goes. So if you are seeing an inverse head and shoulders, that means you are getting this type of pattern. And most people think that head and shoulders has to look like this. Sorry, I drew that wrong already. Let's draw a big one. That way you can kind of see. Most people think that this is what head and shoulders looks like. Right? Let's say a little doggy or something. I don't know. Okay? They think it looks like that. Most of the time, the better head and shoulders plays will show you pathway higher here, meaning here's my line, here's my left shoulder, right? Here's the head. And then that head actually breaks through for a moment. And you can extend, and then you can do it later. This is why usually you'll hear me mention the right shoulder that could have been. Okay? Those are great setups because you showed the way higher, you got further into positive territory, you pull back so you have less risk of going negative, and then you have a clear area to really pay attention to in these type of areas that you can go, okay, here is where I'm looking for 2-hour divergence, right? So if we take everything like this into consideration, I'll clean this up later. If we take everything into consideration, then technically, if we are able to see this, that's showing pathway higher, then we could dip down, and we're looking for 2-hour divergence at any moment. That's it. What is that, CI? Yeah, I'll check it for you, Jonna. You're one of the real ones. And Jonna's a great name. Me and my wife really like the name Jonna. We almost named Ari Jonna, by the way. So you have that going for you. We really did. As far as, is it CI? CI? Oh, okay. Good 2-hour behavior, right? Good. It's loading, 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 loading. The other thing is you broke the high and you're revisiting those lows. So what do you want to see? You want to see this go positive? If you need some reason to make a decision and try the play, all you're looking for is like a 2-hour to confirm above the 5 here would be what I would say. Get another confirmation if you're looking at it right now. But this is where you can see a 2-hour actually build up. So really, this is like 4-hour probably or something. Oh, God. That's not good, though. Okay. Okay, I think you could potentially get a move to gap fill, but I still believe the risk of making that daily solidified higher low or lower high, sorry, is there. Because this one you see, right? Showed pathway lower, right? So if the daily can confirm up here, sorry, I was looking at the other time frames just to make sure I'm doing this right, but if the daily can confirm up here, this could be some kind of to just go, oops. So what you're looking for here is just, you're getting this upside move. And then weirdly enough, if the daily crosses down, it says, I'm going to go down. Like it says, I'm going to start going, bam. So what you want to see here is a big move, and you never want to see price action go wrong. You never want to see, if this marks itself as a low, you never want to see that taken out. we can see boom into this. But if you just see like a little move like this and it rolls, really pay attention to that low. Okay. That's the best I could do with this one for the time being. Weekly charts. Crossing down. Relatively close to the center line as well. Once again, look at the behavior here. Happened again. We broke. Then we go up and we retest. We go lower. Now what's happened? Well, let's see. Oh, we took out that high. So even if this pulls down, we could hold up at this wick. We could hold up down here. It looks like we are going through a weekly pullback. And so you're trying to see if this can flip back up. So maybe the daily chart's able to scream here. Either way, this is like a daily upside move. It's just very negative. So it's going to be a little bit hard. But if that daily move, you see the right things and it comes up to here, you're like, okay, cool. Where's my weekly move? Where's my monthly move? Does that roll? Do I see 2-hour divergence very plainly right there? Okay, that's likely to roll. If that rolls too much, it starts to get risky to the downside. Yeah, this one's going to be a serious trade like water one. Maybe? I like that. I would love a daily divergence. So keep mentioning this one, Jonna. I will like mention this one at the, if you see an upside move, we can watch it in the next like week or two. Mention this in like a week or two, or if it gets a reaction, I'll look at it, okay? That's a tough one. Your shorter time frames, like 30-minute and 2-hour, they're not really like the happiest there. All right. Wish I could have been a little bit better, like with that one, to be totally honest. I think so, Chris. I think you're seeing that theta burn type of thing happen. My thinking here though is, why would they be theta burning right now? Well, who's getting burned by that theta? Probably calls, weirdly enough. So, all right, guys. Well, we're going to hop off, but hopefully you take into consideration some of what you heard today. Hopefully some of it ended up being a little bit helpful for you. Thank you so much for showing up today. I got to go take care of my wife now. I went as long as I could. I really did. For today, today's going to be a long stream. The rest of the week, I'll probably have to hop off earlier because Abuela can't come over every single morning to take care of my wife. So we might only be able to stream for like an hour after the open for a couple of days until my wife starts to feel better, okay? Thank you guys for your well wishes to her. Thank you guys for being here, like and subscribe. And thank you to everyone who showed up to the Patreon private stream yesterday. I think we got a lot of good work done. And some of the things that we were paying attention to are taking place right now. So we can watch those. Some of the things that we were paying attention to are taking place right now. So we'll watch those, right? The 2-hour chart here, see if we get a good confirmation for DJT. And then also still looking at Apple, I just considered looking for a 30-minute pullback because me personally right now, guys, I'm dealing with a lot over here. That's why we were at the hospital for 6 hours on Friday. So I'm going to take some of my risk off for today and see if I can reposition a little bit more extended out just to feel a little bit better about those plays. I'm not suggesting like you have to do whatever I'm doing ever. You want to make your decisions that are best for you. We are two totally different people, but I just do like to notify that like, hey, I'm taking risk off for a little bit because I'm going to be potentially, taking care of a kid and taking care of wifey at the same time. So I won't be able to pay attention as much. Thank you guys, though, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Patreon members, always be looking at that chat in there, okay? Sometimes throughout the day today, I'll be able to pop in there and we can chat back and forth. Have a great one. Peace out, Girl Scouts. I'll see you next time. Bye. Peace out.